all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
Shit, forgot my drink.
And I approve this message. Oakland Raiders, Oakland Raiders, Oakland Raiders. Just win, baby, win, baby, win, baby. We are the Oakland Raiders, Oakland Raiders, Oakland Raiders. Just win, baby, win, baby, win, baby. Don't need no invitation. We are that Raider Nation. We rock that black and silver. We make them shake and shiver. We make them reconsider. And we still committed. So if you want a piece of this, you can come and get it. Touchdown, touchdown. Let's throw a bomb on first down. Let's throw a bomb on every down. First we score, then we clown. Having fun, look around. Nobody loud as a Raider crowd. Nobody proud as a Raider crowd. NFL, how you like me now? We gon' do this open style. Nothing but action. I'm Bo Jackson, hit the hole. Run you over, goal line. Jumping over, going crazy. Lose your soul, lose your mind in the black hole. Here's the goal, Super Bowl. And everybody here, get to go. Don't need no invitation. We are that Raider Nation. We rock that black and silver. We make them shake and shiver. We make them reconsider. And we still committed. So if you want a piece of this, you can come and get it. Oakland Raiders.
Raiders! What is up? What is up? Raider Nation, what is going on?
Hi.
Salute, salute.
Salute, salute, salute. I think I had my mic unmuted that whole time, so yeah, cool.
That was great.
That was great. That was great. Welcome to another Wednesday of the Raider Connection. What's going on, y'all? As you can see, 805 has changed. Las Vegas Raider 10 is now grown. We call him 805 Raider now.
He a big boy now.
I just gotta get the mustache. That's all it is.
Yes.
Gotta get
Those of you who are saying that Nathan should grow
the
up,
arrow, bro.
Yeah, can't do it. Can't do it.
Right. Hey, welcome, brother. How you doing?
Good, man. I appreciate you guys having me. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually I'm happy I got the approval from the boss, aka the wife, to come on and join you guys. And so
yeah.
Yes,
I mean, man, it's been lives constantly this week since the draft. I posted a video earlier today, just kind of breaking the draft down finally, because I was able to jump on with you guys. I got the Raider War Room guys, you know, and so I went over to the wife. I said, "Hey, give me one more."
Yeah.
She gave me that look, but then she's like, "All right." I was like, "All right, cool." So,
Man, that's cool. Shout out to the wife for being a trooper.
100%. I get one more live until my regular on Sunday. So,
And it was funny. I remember when we were in Vegas, we were talking about this, how the draft is not even over. It's just beginning, right? We're finally getting our players, and we're now just going to start doing shows more about the players and what to expect. So they think it's over, but it's actually just beginning.
It's just beginning. Now you got to talk about it for the next 2
now we
months.
got to talk about it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but shout out to the wives, to the girlfriends, being understanding during football season. If you're with a Raider fan, you know what it's like. I mean, Jay, new dad, your wife's a Saints fan, but I remember when you came down here, dude, she was down.
She was down. She I don't know. We're I'm trying to get her over, bro. Trying to get her over. She just doesn't want to do those things, bro.
It's like I said, like I don't be forcing no one to be a fan, dog. Let them be it on their own.
She's a fan, bro, because she watches the shows with me. But I'm not gonna stand for none of that Saint bullshit.
No, that's what I mean. Her being a Raider fan. I know she's a fan. Yeah. Well, she got a new quarterback, right? Mm-hmm.
So she don't care, bro. She don't like them. She likes them, but she doesn't like them. I don't get it. It's weird.
You
never watch the games. She's like, I know, but still, it's my team.
Are you saying that the lady's the Saints fan?
Yeah, the wife is a Saints fan, but she's just hesitant on coming over to the dark side, bro. I don't know.
She's from that area? Is that what makes her a Saints fan? I'm just curious.
She just likes Drew Brees, bro. That's it.
All right. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's no longer there. So now you can come over.
He's no longer there. Yeah, exactly. Let me tell you something. I know. I'm sorry, hon, if I'm putting you on blast, but she knows more shit, more facts about the Raiders, more current situational events with the Raiders than opposed to her own team. So I'm like, you're already by default, you should already be in. You just got to give up those Saints.
She's a Raider fan under the radar. That's what she is.
Under the radar, yeah. We're the side chick. I'm trying to make us the main chick.
Oh, all right. That's tough. Good luck to you.
Get me in trouble, so I'm just gonna keep that side chick comment. I was about to say something, and I was like, "No, don't say it, Leo."
Don't say it.
I can say anything I want. Mine's look at
all six starting us off right. Thank you for the super chat.
There you go. Salute, appreciate you.
You. It's all about the you, Leo. Hey, the you represented in the draft. Oh wait, did they? No.
Yeah, the first pick.
Yeah. Well, just Cam Ward after that. But no, I just
remember hearing too many names from Miami.
We have our own little rivalry.
I don't know hear too many Miami names being called.
Yeah, it might have been more Miami or Ohio State or Miami of Ohio picked more.
Right. Shout out and salute to my boy Robert Pena. What's going on, Big Dog? Roshar Raider. What's going on? Jeff from Boston with the Sam Adams commercial accent. Was it U805 that we were talking about Sam Adams and the seasonal beers?
Yeah. So they're winter seasonal. Like I'm not a massive beer drinker, but for some reason they got like this like cold snap winter beer that man, I'll buy a few 12 packs just to kind of get me through the year. So that's a good one.
Okay. Joe until it comes back out again.
I like summer ale.
I was telling him, I don't know if you guys know or Jay, maybe if you know, but Modelo does the same thing, but for Christmas it's called Noche Buena. So it's like a holiday brew that they do for their, and it usually comes out in Mexico only. Yeah, I go to TJ or Rosarito and I'll grab like a couple cases and I'm gonna bring it across. But yeah. I'm a bootlegger, folks. I sneak beer across the border. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
family members ain't the only thing. Yep. He said he is sexy for the shirt. Chris for Raiders. It is too early for all that, Big Dog. I don't know what's going on. I know you guys spent a lot of time together this weekend, a lot of shows.
No,
but I was with 805, bro. You don't hear us talking all this sexy.
Hey, Leo, the sun's going down over here. You better be careful.
Yeah. See, speaking of the devil, the wife who walked in, I was like, I was talking shit.
There she goes. Goes.
The wife walks in and she hears side chick and she's like, "What the hell?"
I was telling him that we were trying to make the Raiders your main chick, not the side chick.
Right. She heard side chick. That's what it was. Her radar went off, right?
And then she walks to the door. Exactly.
Oh, my boy Turf. What's going on, Turf? What it do, Raider Nation? I know he was excited about the round 6 picks with the representing the FCS. That's my boy Turf right there. Of course, Alex, welcome. Jason, we will get to that. Chris for Raiders, thank you, brother. Thank you for giving
appreciate
it, Big Dog. Those are always welcome and appreciated, right? But man, whoo, Mike, what's going on, Mike? I hope to see you this weekend. I will be in the Bay Area, Big Dog. I hope you can come through. I really hope you can come through, Big Dog. I hope so. I hope I can see him.
I think Sacktown's going to Bakersfield. So
I know he's going to Bakersfield. Him and Jack are going to Bakersfield.
Yeah,
but this weekend is the Richmond event, so I know that's in the Bay Area. So hopefully I'll be able to get to see them.
Christopher Raiders is going to Bakersfield too.
Yeah, he is.
I'm 90% going to be there.
Or you might roll.
90.
Watch out.
90.
Yeah. I'm 100% guaranteed I'm not going to be there.
I like that percentage, right, Jeff? Good. Appreciate that.
Good for you.
I wish I could.
Jeff, it's a short drive. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I better leave now.
I'm playing right, bro.
But I mean, the draft, y'all, it was crazy. It was good. You know, I love. First and foremost, shout out to homie Power Raider for hooking it up with the tickets.
Yeah.
Also to Marlene from the Black Hole. Paul 805. She's the one who gave me your ticket. That's how I was able to give you a ticket, and you were able to hang in there with too as well.
That's awesome.
So shout out to Marlene from the Black Hole for gifting those tickets. And man, it was fun. It was fun, man. Nobody does a party the way the fucking Raiders would do this fucking early in the season the way we did, man. There were multiple parties in that city for one fucking draft. It was the one we were at, right, by the pool. Then there was the one inside, upstairs, right, in the ceiling and the roof or whatever, at the Ghost Bar, done by the Black Hole. And then there was the one at the 8 Lounge, the Max Crosby one, which also seemed to be pretty huge. So that is crazy. And it's good to see them doing all this cool shit for the Raider Nation out there, bro. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Which the Ghost Bar was legit. I went up to the Ghost Bar, but man, we should have went to the 8 Lounge.
We should have, right. Man, MC Raider said we should have stayed there, but once again, we have those tickets that were waiting for us. You know, it would have been messed up on our part, I guess, to not show up.
That's what I said to you guys. I said if I was out there, I would have just stayed at the 8. That fucking place was beautiful. I would have.
It was amazing inside. I kid you not, bro. I felt bougie. I really did feel bougie. Yeah.
Well, I watched the video the MC put out there, and I was like, damn. I'm like, I would have stayed here. Paul was on with us over the weekend, and I was saying that to him. And he goes, it's nice in there. That place. It was
really nice. And the service was nice. They were really nice inside too, right? They were very welcoming. Even when they were telling us where we were sitting, they were gonna have to move us a little bit because they were gonna make it more like a family type seating area or whatever that was. But they were really cool. Shout out to the staff there as well, man.
Would they have allowed you to stay there while Max was in there doing his show, or no?
Oh yeah.
Or did they kind of close the place down?
Yeah.
You could stay in there.
And
we could.
So Max was there, Christian Wilkins was there, Amari Gaynor was there, and I think there was one other.
JPJ was there forever.
Was JPJ there?
Say JPJ, right?
It was there.
Yeah. We should have went there. At least popped in. But yeah, we should have went there.
Well, remember afterwards, Samoa went over there.
Yeah.
And I saw MC. We were gonna go over there, but MC was like, "Nah, let's just stay here." And then we had to go get his stuff so he can leave. So I'm sure if he didn't leave, we probably would have went back over there.
Yeah. It was legit anyways, though. It was a good time.
That was fun. It was fun. And it was free food, free drinks, open bar. Woo.
Even better.
Come on.
I felt the open bar later that night and the next morning. So
100.
I gotta ask.
Wait till
while you guys were there when they were announcing our pick at number 6, and obviously it wasn't the guy that Leo wanted. What was his facial expression? Was he upset, Paul, that Shador's name wasn't called, or was he okay with Ashton Jeanty's name being called? Like, what was his general reaction?
God, I think I looked back because Leo, you were recording.
No, I was watching. Samoa was recording.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought you had your phone up.
No.
I don't know, man. I think I remember your reaction was just like a little surprised. It was hard because that place blew up.
Yeah.
99% of people just went nuts. They were excited about it. Maybe I was all caught up in my feelings a little bit.
I was going to say he was probably more caught up in his feelings than I was.
Yeah, because I was just like, when that place erupted, I was like, shit. I mean, because my thing was obviously I wanted to either trade back or get it or potentially get a tackle. Like I wanted to build in the trenches. But I was like, you know what? And then my instant reaction was, okay, we better get a guard very quickly. So I just kind of switched it up a little bit, and now we just better hope he balls. It's that simple, right? No one will forget that he was a first rounder if he averages 1,700 yards, 1,800 yards a season on the ground. So
that's crazy expectations. Running back, though.
It's really not, though. If you think about it, like 1,700 yards combined. I'm saying combined.
No. Well, I guess now we played 17 games now. Yeah.
I mean, somebody on Rundown show the other day said, 900 yards combined, 900 yards rushing from him. And I'm like, that's like a 52 average a game.
That might have been me.
That's ridiculous. No, it wasn't you, because he went crazy with that. He goes, what's that average out to? I'm like, that's like 52 yards, dude. That's nothing.
Right.
So, the only thing that I probably would end up being real disappointed about is if all of a sudden it is kind of a split back situation, or he's only getting maybe 70% of the carries. Because Chip Kelly likes to run split back. Yeah, Chip Kelly likes to run split back system. He did it at Ohio State. If there is kind of a dual back situation, then I'm like, damn, why did we pull the trigger?
At that point, I would be disappointed in the pick because
exactly.
Why are you picking one at number 6 when you're going to do the split back thing?
Yeah,
you know,
I don't think that's the case. If you pick him at 6, I'm just saying, if Chip Kelly continues with his trend of trying to run a dual back system and shoot, like if Raheem Mostert comes in, and if Raheem Mostert's getting 12, 13 carries a game, nah, he's Jeanty's number 6. He better be that workhorse. He better be able to have every opportunity to get the when he gets 100 yards, I'm sitting there going, I'm expecting 100 yards out of you every game. That's
I think he needs that amount of carries though to get to the 100-yard. Like if we're expecting him to get 100 yards on 15, 20 carries, I'm 15, right? Whatever. I think 20 plus. Then you're looking at him getting 100 yards.
Well, so
even when he Boise, it took like what 25 plus carries a game for him to get those 100 yards. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, at Boise, he was the workhorse. He was their only. That was their offense. He was their whole entire offense. So I'm just sitting there going, man, like. I want to see 125 plus every game. Right his shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Now, it is tough because at the end of the day, it's also recognizing that we have still some offensive weapons, right? Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers, Jack Bech. Now that we have him, a lot of us were pretty excited about Deontay Thornton coming in.
Yes,
and so it is really hard because at the end of the day. Let's say he only gets 86 yards, but we put 27, 30 points up on the scoreboard and we win.
I'll be happy. I won't be upset.
It's trying to assess just how much Jeanty kind of attracted that defense down, which opened up the pass downfield. So it's trying to balance that, right? Because if we win and we score 25, 27 plus, and he only had 14 carries. Well, maybe there's a reason behind that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I kind of want to.
If them loading the box limited his yards or his carries, but say we were able to get the ball to Bowers, Myers, and them, and we scored that much, I'm not going to be mad and say he wasn't worth it because obviously he's the one drawing that attention, right? Yeah.
Just the one way to defense is honest is the thing, really.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not just stacking the box and daring us to throw it.
That's why I think it's going to be very interesting to assess it as the season goes on, to just really know how much does Jeanty, again, even if he doesn't have the numbers, how much does he actually influence the success of the offense?
Right.
Just based on how much the defense has to key on him.
Yeah.
So,
and I said this on Rundown Show when he said what would be successful as far as numbers wise, and I think me as a fan of the team, I don't see it as just individual stats. Of course, I want to see individual stats. But to what you were just saying, Paul, my point was if we're winning and adding him to this offense made that difference, adding these rookie receivers, switching, finally having a formidable quarterback in Geno, then I'll be happy. I'll be happy in the fact that we're winning, right? I'm not going to be focused on like, oh, yeah, we're winning, but did we really need to make that pick at 6? Because, look, he only gained 84 yards, But we won the whole game. Yeah.
But also, too, if those yards, not necessarily with those yards, translate to touchdowns. What if it's the reverse side effect where it's touchdowns to compared to rushing yards, right? If he's putting up 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns a game, there you go. And he's only doing like 85 yards. I'll take that. I mean, we just what we want ultimately is just for us to be able to go ahead and score, move the football. That's really what the actual name of the game is to open up those passing lanes and all that. If he does that, if it ends up just being more touchdowns and yards, I'm good with that.
Okay. All right, Jeff, I'm gonna show you something, and nobody saw this but the people on my chat with Chris and them. So you asked what my real reaction was. So my actual reaction was I yelled with the rest of everybody else. I was like, "Whoa!" like crazy, right? I laughed because Paul was probably in more shock than I was. But I did send the video to Rundown of them. This is it. This was my reaction to them passing on Saturday.
I should do it.
Yes.
Nah, dog. I'm tired of this team lying to me. Drew was there. They told me we would take him, and we didn't. I need a hug. I need some hugs.
I need a hug.
You did, bro.
That was my reaction. I privately said to the group.
Did you pat him on the back 805 when the call came in? You're like, it's okay, bro.
No, maybe.
Have a drink.
You know what?
You go, wash away your sorrows type thing.
I kind of had maybe that oh shit moment, like damn, because obviously you guys know I didn't want a running back at 6. But
I was with you on that one too.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't like a complete just deflation of emotion because I didn't hear Shedeur Sanders. So that made me happy. Okay.
And I think that's probably what it was, because you didn't hear the name. You were like,
yeah, exactly. I actually was like, okay, let me enjoy this. Let me enjoy this free beer. All right.
Right.
Well, I mean,
I had made peace with that. I was just like, whatever. I mean, if it happens, great. If it doesn't, well, cool. Let's see who we pick. Just can't be like
my
this
reaction was
no name guy.
I knew, my initial thought was I wanted Graham, but then once he was taken, I'm like, all right, well, obviously that's not going to be it. So it was going to be one of 3 things. One was going to be Shedeur, Jeanty, or we were going to hopefully move back, like 805 said, because I wanted to move back and then hopefully get that offensive lineman, but gain that additional second round pick. And when they announced Genty's name, if anybody watched the reaction from the show on Thursday, sitting right here, I literally, when they said it, I just took the hat and I just threw it because I was just like, damn. Like, fuck.
You threw it because you were mad?
Yeah, because it's not the way I wanted to go. So I just sat here.
Oh, I know you wanted
saying anything.
I remember that, but
yeah.
Bueno.
And then, as the night went on, the rest of the night went on, I kind of came to grips with it. I'm like, okay, so I just trust their decision. And then when it got to Friday night, I was like, okay, now I get it. Now we're good now. I was fine by the end of Friday night.
So let me add something. And I'm just saying this. I actually said it with East Coast Gridiron. I've kind of hinted at with Chris when we were at my show with the Raider War Room. Yeah. Mason Graham and Leo, I told you.
I was about to say, so Jeff, be glad you never hung out with 805 or you talked to him. This dude talked me out. I'm Mason Graham like an hour before the draft.
Wow.
I think there's a really good chance Mason Graham will not live up to his first round top 10 projection.
Really?
There's a lot of things I do not like on his tape that it just I was one when everybody kind of there's people that were like, oh, pushing Mason Graham to number 6. I was like, man, obviously I like Adam Butler. I like Christian Wilkins and stuff. But man, the more and more I watched this film, there was so much that concerned me. I said, there's no way in hell I could take him at 6. And this is my bold take and my unpopular opinion last year, which I was surprised I didn't get more hate comments. But my unpopular opinion last year was that I thought Bo Nix was going to be a good quarterback. People clowned the crap out of me about that. They attempted to, but I was like, whatever. This year, I think Mason Graham isn't going to live up to his first round projection. And I won't go as deep as I did with Leo because me and Leo sat there and I basically probably wrapped his ear off for about 30 minutes. But man, he gives up on plays. There's a couple times a game, all of a sudden he just slows up. He gives up on plays. He's got one move. It's basically a pop and throw. He pops and tries to throw somebody. If it doesn't work, he gets held up. Don't get me wrong. He's got some highlights. He will run through somebody. He shows massive flashes of highlights, but then he disappears in games. All of a sudden, he's gone. He won't be in the game for 4 or 5 plays. I'm sitting there going, wait a second. Why isn't he in the game? It'll be middle of the field, down inside the 10, he's gone. He's not even in the rotation on the goal line. But then he comes in the next series, and I said, okay, well, shit, let me go back to the last 2-3 plays that he was in. And all of a sudden, you could tell he's popping up, and he's gassed. He's tired. and he could not fight a double team. 95% of the time, I watched 5 or 6 different games every single defensive snap. And he struggled to get through double teams. He had a really good game against Ohio State. I'll give him that. It was a pretty good game. That was probably what really put him high up there on the draft boards.
Right.
But, I mean, the other games that I watched, I'm sitting there I'm going into the third quarter, and he's not even influencing a single play. And it's the third quarter. And I'm seeing him take 4 or 5 plays off. He looks gassed right before he gets out to play. I mean, to me, I'm sitting there going, okay, this is all with an assessment of take him at 6. And the more and more I just kept watching, I said there, man, I cannot pull the trigger on this kid. I mean, I watched the Texas game. He looked like shit against Texas. Yeah, he had probably 2 good plays. Outside of that, the amount of times that he got flat-backed, the amount of times he got manhandled, I'm sitting there going, yeah, I'm watching it going, I don't see it.
Let me ask you this. As you watch that, on the times that he disappeared, or where he just wasn't, seemed like he was in the game, were those games that Grant really stepped up? Because I heard a rumor about him too, that Grant kind of tended to play second fiddle. Like Grant is actually the better of the two.
So there are people who believe Grant is the dude more than him. I get
because that's what I heard that leading up to last week.
Yeah.
The only thing that I noticed, and I'm not sure, I wasn't really looking specifically at that, because what I would do is I'd go back and see, was this a trend with the Michigan defensive line? Like, did they naturally rotate, right? Did they just rotate players in? And maybe he just was caught in the rotation. And then that's fine if that's what that defense coordinator, D-line coach wanted to do. Okay, then I can definitely give him some leeway there. But if you ain't in on goal line 1st and 10, and you're not in for 4 straight plays down on the goal line, how is your number 1 defensive tackle not in the game? And then he comes back in the very next series. Perfectly fine. I actually messaged Chris, and I was like, hey, did Mason Graham have any injuries last year? And Chris said, no, not that I know of. And I said, okay. Like, I want to at least cover my basis a little bit on whether or not, did he have an injury? Was he ailing from something? But, man, I'm watching. I continue to watch game film on this kid again as much as I can. Basically, what I did was I typed in Michigan defense verse, and it picked up 6 different games, and I watched every single defensive play.
Right.
And I'm telling you, the more and more I watch the kid, I was like, "There's no it's crazy to me that he's top 10. I'll be honest, even first round. Like there was defensive tackles. Shit, that Ty Robinson from Nebraska. Shit, I think that kid's better than him. To be dead honest with you, and that's just again unpopular opinion. People are probably gonna go crazy. That's fine. Like I trust my eyes. But yeah, so I'm off my soapbox. But go back, literally, Jeff. Go back and type in Michigan defense verse, and it'll pop up a bunch of just Michigan's defensive games, and it's all their defensive plays. Just watch Mason Graham. Just watch him. I watched him against Boston College, Illinois, Texas, Ohio State, and there was one other one. I think so. It was 5 total games, and just watch him. And I'd sit there and go, damn, he is not a first rounder.
Oh, okay. So I brought this up for a reason, and it's not to bang on you, Jeff, even though I was going to. I see your lawyers in the chat. But for those of us who want to bang on Jeff for the Ashton pick, he was opposed to it. He was not opposed to it. He preferred a different pick. With the picks at O-line, it makes sense. Jeanty pick was more justified, right? Jeff is more acceptable and likes the pick now, so don't even try and give him crap. Look, man, there were some of us who thought the Jeanty thing was smoke, right? We weren't going to pick him. Still to this day, if we go back, you tell me here we didn't get Jeanty, but say we got a tackle, and then if you look at the way the boards fell before we traded, some of the better running backs were still there, right? Jenkins was picked before Henderson. I think I remember telling 805 when we were at the bar, like, bro, if we didn't trade back, we could have landed fucking T-Mac and Henderson.
T-Mac didn't drop as far as some people thought he was going to drop.
Exactly. Yeah. I was like, we could have landed T-Mac and Henderson. Now, I'm not saying I'm mad that we got Jeanty. I understood why we got Jeanty, like I said before. But I guess that's why I'm glad the the draft is over and the mocks are over, because now we know what we finally got. And just because we said we wanted something else doesn't mean like we're all opposed to that shit now, right? Like, I'm not mad that we got Jeanty. Like, I understood. Yeah. Obviously, there's people that still want it to be justified, right? Because you took a running back at 6. Is it still a value pick? It depends how you look at it. You know, I talked to 805 about it, I think with you guys a couple times. You want those kind of picks to last, what, 6-10 years for you? 10 years at the most, right? Do running backs last that long? How many running backs last after their first contract? After their first contract,
average is what?
How long do they last, right?
Especially if you're going to use this guy.
When we say value, it's not on his talent, you know, but it's on the position and how long it lasts in the NFL, right? Now, I agree. I am one of those who are on the side that running backs don't grow on trees, not elite ones anyway, right? There's good ones, there's formidable ones, and then there's some that are above. To me, Jeanty was one of those above the rest. By much, probably, maybe. Do I think it's generational? To me, it was too soon. I saw a thing today where Marcus Allen said that he was like a mixture of Emmett and Barry, and I was like, whoa, Marcus, like, chill, Marcus. Like, I love you, but chill.
It's just, can I say something about Jeanty?
Yeah.
And this is the hard part. And again, it's not going to necessarily be a knock on him, and I'm going to say that he's not going to be very good. This is not what I mean when I say this.
Under their skin, yeah. It doesn't mean we're saying he's not going to be good.
This is why I'm cautiously optimistic with Jeanty, right? When Jeanty gets in open space, he's electric. He's got very good vision. He makes the right cuts. He can get to open space. He doesn't look like he has all the crazy breakaway speed. So I don't know if we're going to get all of a sudden he gets out in the open and it's an 80-yard touchdown. You know, the competition he was going against was the Mountain West. He was playing Nevada. He was playing San Jose State. He was playing San Diego State. And so my thing is that what the biggest test for Jeanty, the biggest test that Jeanty is going to have is how is he going to withstand the physicality of playing 17 NFL football games, right? Because he played in the Mountain West. I would just like to see, and it's just running a comparison, and it's why I'm cautiously optimistic. Is
right, yeah.
Imagine if he played a Penn State 8 out of the 10, 11 games. Would he hold up? Would he be able to take that punishment week in and week out and still continue to have that type of production?
And in fairness to the 12 thing, the conference thing, I get that. But there's nothing he can do about that. That's the conference he selected. That's who he plays with. It is also known to say that the O-linemen aren't Big Ten quality type O-linemen either that are blocking for him, right? And I do remember when he played Penn State, when he played Oregon, he was able to fucking, run on them and shit like that. So I see that he has the skills and the ability. The durability is the part I get too. But to me, the thing with the conference thing comes into play. I don't know. I think sometimes we put too much into that because we think only players from the SEC or the Big Ten are the ones who are NFL ready.
Well, here's the thing, though, is it's about the combination of speed when he goes again. Like if he were to be the running back in the SEC, the amount of speed, the collective speed on defense is much different than what he's going to see in the Mountain West. There might be the one, maybe two players in the Mountain West on each team that's going to have that type of speed. You go play in the Big Ten, you go play in the SEC, there's going to be 8, 9, 10, 11 guys in that defense that's going to have NFL caliber speed. And so it's trying to understand, is he going to be able to adjust to that? But we talk about, he balled against Oregon, right? Yeah. He balled against Oregon. He did a pretty good job against Penn State. I think he ran for just over 100 yards on 30 carries, I think it was. Yeah. But imagine if he played Penn State week in and week out, those type of caliber defenses.
Yeah.
Would he be able to hold up after that 5th, 6th, 7th game and that durability? At what point is his body going to start to wear down? He
is 21, right? Yeah. So there's that. I don't know how long or how well he takes care of his body. I think this is the other part that comes into it afterwards, right? Once you get to the NFL, what do you do? How are you going to take care of your body? What are you doing? How are you training? Right? I mean, I see the difference now in Max Crosby, and then I remember the lanky Max that we drafted.
We got the best person to do it. Him and Deuce Gruden are like the same size.
Yeah.
So
Is he really 5'8"?
Exactly.
Is Jeanty really 5'8"? Why did I think he was taller?
He's probably like 5'8", bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably like 5'8", but he advertises.
Like, running back is not a bad thing to me, right? You don't necessarily have to be fat in
I don't like. I'm not a fan of running backs under 5'10". I'm not a fan of running backs under 5'10". The only running back, and I mean, maybe is I can't think prior to this. The only running back that I was actually really excited about coming out of the draft that was under 5'10" last year was Ray Davis. Ray Davis was my favorite running back last year out of Kentucky.
Ray Davis,
and he was 5'8".
Yeah. Hey, shout out to the short dudes. Fucking Jeanty. Bring it, dog.
For sure, bro. Representing shit.
Represent, big dog.
Bunch of midgets.
But what about you two, Chet? I didn't see your guys' live. I didn't see your reaction. I don't think I had to act. I'm guessing from what the chat I've seen, you threw your hat, so that means you weren't happy that we drafted Jeanty?
No, not at first. Not my initial reaction. I was like in both situations. I was happy we didn't draft Shedeur, and then I was kind of upset that we drafted Jeanty because it's not what I really wanted to do. But like I said, I came to grips with it. I guess the funniest part of the whole thing was not so much the hat throw, but after I did that, like we rewatched it on Sunday on another show, Captain Jack's show. We put it up because Angela was hosting that. After I threw the hat, I sat just like this. Didn't say a word for like 4 minutes of the video of the show. Everybody else was talking and doing whatever, and I just sat here. I didn't move, and we're watching it, and I'm like, I didn't realize I didn't talk for that long. Like I took that long of a break. What's up, man? I was like, shit. It was the whole thought process that I was just running through. I'm like, all right, well, we'll have to wait and see what happens now.
Right.
You know,
What about you, Jay?
Well, for me, I was just like, oh, okay, whatever. I mean, I was on with Run and Turf on that show, and I mean, Run was cool. It was, he was all right, but Turf took it a little harder, bro. He's I'm not as upset as I was with last year's with Brock, but no, I'm not like super cool with it. And I'm like, oh,
what'd you say? You weren't as upset or what with Brock?
He said that he wasn't as upset as last year.
Oh yeah, Turf was fucking
his reaction. Yeah, he had an okay reaction. So he tried to swallow it as much as he can, but later on through the night, he kind of voiced his opinion on it. So I'm just like, hey, that's a dude that we drafted. They saw something in him. They didn't see something in Shedeur or anybody else. This is a guy that wanted to pick at 6, and it is what it is. But really quick on the durability thing, I think what's going to happen with Jeanty is that they're probably going to have him. I don't think it's going to be 90% of the time where they're going to have him run the ball. I think they're going to go ahead at first, probably ease him into it. They're probably going to have him do about 75% of the time where he's going to be carrying most of the snaps. And then he's going to be alternating. What's that?
He can catch out of the backfield too.
He can catch out of the backfield, but I think he's going to be splitting some of that time with Moser, and then you still got McCormick. You have
if he doesn't fall off.
Yeah, I mean you'll have those dudes that just to kind of get in there and take some of the beating when it needs
to.
What
up, Paul? What's going on?
To kind of fool the defense, but I mean, I think just kind of preserve this dude, and because 805 has a valid point, we don't know how long this guy could potentially last for. I mean, we have him right now 4, possibly 5 years. We want to go ahead and make the best out of it,
at least,
at least. And so we want to make sure that guy stays around, and he probably this is a whole different other beast. He's gonna find out really quick. This is a whole different other thing.
Yeah,
when he's at the at the highest level. So I think he'll do a good job, but I feel like they're gonna probably ease him into it at first, and then after that they're gonna push him to be that workhorse like full time.
And before we move on with the rest of the picks, I will say this: I don't put so much of the offense how it looks on Jeanty. To me, right now, this is where it's Chip Kelly. This is why we're paying Chip Kelly the most as an offensive coordinator, right? This is why we brought him in. This is why Pete's the head coach. Because if you see about what we did, because I talked about it with 805, what we did after we picked Jeanty. Okay, now get him the help, right? Get him fucking O-line. Bring Colton Miller back. Get some fucking wide receiver threats because we only had, whatever the fuck we had before, which was nothing, right? Like, let's see what they do the rest of this draft before I start to say, like, oh, man, this was such a waste of a pick. We're just going to waste this guy, right? This is now where I'm looking at Pete and Chip specifically. What are you going to do now with Geno, with Jeanty, and all these weapons that they, Spike Tech and them got for you? What are you going to do, and what's that going to look like on the field?
I will say I was an emotional roller coaster this draft. I'm just going to throw it out there. We get Jeanty. I'm like, oh, shit. And then we trade back in the second. I'm like, okay, we're good. We like it.
Which, by the way, y'all, we fucking yelled probably louder for the trade than we did for the fucking pick of Jeanty.
Absolutely.
Just so you don't know.
The trade back was beautiful. And so I'm like, hell yeah.
Got up, yelled, screamed. We were fucking excited.
And knowing that we recouped another third, I'm sitting there going, man, this is brilliant. Yes. This is genius.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden we get Jack Bech. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a second. Like, we don't need another Jacoby Myers, And so it's like, I was like, damn, okay.
I said, who?
Oh, man. But at the same time, I'm sitting there going, like, it was just another kind of, you have to wait and see, I guess, right? You had to wait and see. You get Jeanty, are we gonna get some O-line help? And then you got Jack Bech, and you're like, okay, he's a good receiver, I get it. Hey, we don't need another Jacoby Myers.
But what did was it Loon or was it Chris that said it? He has a good story. That's why we drafted him.
I said that I hope he doesn't become just a good story. Like, I hope the talent that we see in college does translate. I hope that because to me it felt like the second round was early for him. That's what I
thought initially, right? Yeah.
And so I'm like, did he climb up the draft boards after that because of the story? Which I hope. Like, I'm not saying he's a bad receiver. I'm not saying that at all.
Right.
I just didn't have him as a second round pick, and so I thought that was just a little bit of a reach, and so that's why I made that comment to Lunatic and Fu Chris. I was like, man, I just hope the story didn't increase his draft. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so
now, I don't know if y'all remember, but we traded twice, right? It was the first time, and then we moved down, and then right before we traded was when Will Johnson got taken. To me, I felt that's what we were gonna get. As I kept seeing him on the board, I kept telling it, we're gonna get Will Johnson. We're gonna get fucking lucky and land fucking Jeanty and Will Johnson, and then we'll see whatever they get with these other picks, right? That we added, and then they took him, and I was like, fuck, like damn, there he went, and then we traded down, and then at that point I was like, okay, let's see. But I don't know about y'all, but that's what I thought we were gonna do. And then once he was gone, we traded again, and we moved back down.
With this pick, I love this pick. You know why? Because it wasn't Shedeur Sanders.
Oh my lord!
Swear to God. Because that's what was happening every round.
Round,
everybody kept saying in the channel,
they did? Back up when you guys were live, people were saying this.
Jay was in it for some of these picks.
Possibilities.
He's like,
wow, that's funny.
I'm like, no, stop that.
We were saying it, but jokingly.
It was still a possibility, bro. We didn't know at that point what the whole thing was going on.
Jay's like, he's like, hey, second round, we're coming up. Shedeur's still there. And I'm like, stop saying that. And then we would make the pick, and I'm like, whew, thank God. All right, on to the next one. Then the next round.
Then he wouldn't get picked, and he'd be like on pins and needles like every round,
like,
bro.
Still there. I'm like, son of a bitch. It's like, can we just move past him? Somebody take him quick.
He was still there for like 72 hours, man. It was brutal.
Yeah. I mean, I felt bad for him at some point, to be honest.
It did, because it even became an ongoing, not a joke, but it came ongoing things with us also, right? Because they know how I was about him. So they kept saying, this is it, this is it, this is it. And then, yeah.
I mean, Leo knew. We were sitting there, and when Jalen Milroe got picked before him, and then Dylan Gabriel got picked, and I was like, yeah, I got
dude from the Saints. What's his name?
Tyler Shook.
Tyler Shook got picked. Yeah.
But I was like, man, at a point you were like, damn, like something's up. Either something's up or man, like people just like owners, GMs did not like him in the interview process, obviously with Dion. But I think I said this, Jeff, and when I linked up with you guys, I do think because Archie Manning's coming up, I do think this was a warning shot. Basically saying, with Archie Manning coming down the road.
Even Nico, because Nico's already getting that label
maybe
in
even
college.
Nico.
Yeah.
I think it was a warning shot a little bit and be like, no, you ain't going to dictate anything when it comes to this draft process. That's, again, just a speculation on my point. But
well, let me ask you this right now then, before we go too much further into this, the draft talks. Do you, in hindsight now, do you think we still should have picked them sooner, or do you think that it's a good thing we did pass on them? Because something, because there's things coming out now that Brady said not to take them either.
I'll say
whether
this.
How true that is or not, I don't know. No one knows, except for him.
I'll say he did not get drafted, not because he didn't have the talent of a quarterback that should have got picked as late as he did, or the fact that the others got picked before him. But the more 805 kept pounding into my head about the Dion effect, right? As much as I liked them, as much as I wanted to dismiss it, like I had to come to a point where I had to accept it and realize, like, what team would want to draft him knowing that his dad is saying out there that I could come in here and be his coach, right? Like, say we're 4 or 5 games into the season and we're 1-4, right? Fucking 2-3, and it's because of poor quarterback play. Who do you think is on the phone with the owner trying to push to get his son in there instead of letting things flow naturally the way I guess anybody else would, right? And I guess I didn't realize
it's the media putting the mic in his face.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, right. And that's what I'm saying. Even the media doing that, but also at the same time, them not helping themselves by going through that shit. Because I remember at first he was a lot more vocal about it, talking about Dion, not Shador, than he was towards the end. In the beginning, he was very vocal about it, right? He went on fucking, I don't know, all kinds of shows. My son's going to go wherever the hell I say he's going to go. We're only going to play in certain places, right? He needs to do this. You need to have this. You need to have that, which is crazy. It really is. But then it really isn't, because I remember Arch did that. Now, with NIL coming and these players, it's a little different coming in that way, right? Like, what are you really setting yourself up with if you let him do that? What kind of precedents do you set for these other dudes? All right.
Yeah, but it's not, I don't think it's just that. I mean, it's part of it's that, but also too, it's just how he was just, he came in to
the way he did interviews,
his attitude. It was just, especially in this thin quarterback class, and if you've already seen the projections, because I know he has, and I know Dion has. I mean, if you're not going to be slated to go to be number one, I would be out there, pitching myself, putting myself out there to, do the workout or whatever, right? But that was never his mentality. He came into some of these interviews just, casual as fuck. At the end of the day, it's still a job interview. You're going out there.
It really is.
To try to get picked up to be a starter somewhere. And he thought, because I'm Shador Sanders. I've done this, I've done that. He's automatically going to be given that, and that's where the entitlement thing came in. And I don't know if you guys caught that the second day presser by Spytech, where he said, like, we went out and saw guys that wanted to be at the combine that didn't feel entitled, and that was the giveaway that I told Jeff, I'm like, that's the giveaway that I know Shador is not going to get picked by us. We're not going to draft him. And I was already at that point I came to terms like, okay, this guy's gone. We're not going to pick him up. At some point, there was some disinterest, and that's the disinterest. Is the whole attitude, everything. The GMs talk, and that's what happened. They all talk, and they're like, you know what? Right. This guy feels entitled. How is he going to come in to our team and operate? Is he going to feel entitled that he's automatically going to be the day one starter? Right. And if we don't put him there, are we going to go ahead and get harassed and berated by Dion up and down, the media and everything else? So that's all of that was a message sent to them, to the Sanders family. Like, look, you might have some talent, kid, but this is the NFL, and you don't dictate where we put you at. We dictate the terms, and that was a message that was sent.
And it didn't start with Dion. I mean, shout out to the Raiders Shield family. The whole Sanders
man. Appreciate you, brother.
Nobody's fault but their own. In January, it was number one, Cam and him. What changed? The mouth. But if you ever think back, it started with Lamar Jackson. It was wild that they didn't get no offers to trade, right? Because it was, oh, he's bad. He's not going to do good anymore. Who would want to trade for Lamar? He stayed with the Ravens. The motherfucker had an MVP season, right? But if you think about who his agent was, it was his mom.
Yeah.
Door's agent, his dad. Shiloh switched. My dad ain't going to be my agent no more.
That's crazy work.
And now Shiloh is on the Bucks.
Yeah.
These dudes, the NFL, only want to work with agents. And it's for whatever reason, right? Whatever they decide, they're going to dictate that. Now, if you start letting your parents, now whether they're qualified or not, because I believe JD5's mom is his agent as well, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe she just handled things differently. I know they got certified as agents or whatever, but you start letting them become your agents, set certain precedents, and these NFL teams want to deal with these agents to negotiate your contracts. Yeah.
So I did hear, and I don't know if it's true, but I heard that when Shedeur Sanders went into interviews, he actually had his headphones around his neck with music playing.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there with, damn, like if you can't tell me a more bigger sign of disrespect going into an interview, like, you know, Jay, you just said, it's a job interview, right? Right. You got music blaring through your headphones around your neck, and you're walking in with your sideways cap, and I don't care how he's dressed. That's whatever, right? But if you're gonna come in and you got music blaring, that's crazy work. That just
if my clients and I see teams, bro, if they come in to my sessions like that, I legit stop them. I'm gonna let me know when you're ready to start, bro, because we ain't doing this if you're just bumping your music where you're at.
and again, I don't know if Dion is there at the time. And I swear to God, like Dion, I would think, and again, this is just assumption, I would think Dion would smack him in the head and be like, bro, take your headphones off, at least.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, have some respect, because if Dion is teaching him that, or if Dion is accepting of that and going in, hey man, you walk in that room like you own the place, I'm like, damn, bro, yeah, you're done in this league. Because if you combo everything that we're hearing now with where he went, and I know, Leo, when we were watching it, the moment he was picked, I was like, that's trade bait. Like, that's
what did I say? Bait. Yes.
Like, you have 5 quarterbacks on that roster. You just picked Dylan Gabriel in the third. There's no way in hell.
Which makes him more of a priority to keep. If not, you just fucking wasted a 3rd round pick.
100%. Like, everybody will say, "Oh, Dylan Gabriel, it doesn't fit Stefanski's offense." I don't care.
Right.
You don't cut a 3rd round pick. If you cut a 3rd round pick, then you're stupid. It's that simple. Like, you don't waste a 3rd round pick, but just to cut him, just to think Shedeur is going to drop to you. But
now
with
all that,
I think it's pretty big.
He has a chance to. I guess he experienced that. He went through that. Now, if you really do feel you're legendary and as good as you are, now is the time to go out there and prove it.
Yeah.
Right? Now you're like everyone else. You're on the same fucking thing. You're not even a top pick where you can say, come in here. Well, you guys picked me at this point. You should be playing. Now you're coming in with a 5th round pick, bro.
Did you see the video of Shedeur? I saw it. It said Shedeur entered like the Cleveland Browns building.
Yeah.
When he walked in, did you see that?
No.
Like, so, like, you know how when like 1st round draft picks walk in and a lot of people, like, you're excited, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It literally looked like he walked through the cafeteria.
Right.
I was like, damn. Like, you went from
you look at our 1st round pick, they're gonna get the royal treatment when they come 2nd, 3rd. The FCS kids, they're not gonna get the royal treatment when they walk in. You know, they're coming in as the late round picks, bro. Like, hey, you're here to work and make this team. Yeah.
I think he got humbled
like
pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got a big dose of fuck you, get humbled.
But it like what 805 said, that sent a huge message to everybody else that's coming after him also. And this has been brought up before when I've watched other channels and I've talked to Turf about it. The impact NIL is having or gonna have on the NFL. Because these kids used to come wanting to just come here and play, and this is where they would start making their money. Now you got kids that are making more money before they even come here.
I wonder if it's going to mess with the rookie pay scale.
Some of the guys that are on the rosters already.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if it's going to mess with the rookie pay scale.
I hope not. I love the rookie pay scale.
I wonder if it is, though, because, I mean, the NIL is going to do nothing but probably increase over time. Right? It becomes a bidding war.
It does.
And so I wonder if the NFL experiences a lot of problems with these young kids going, hey, I'm going to make a $15 million NIL deal, but I'm only going to make, 10 grand or 10 million over here. I'm going to go back. I got one more year of eligibility. I'm going to go back. Now on the flip side, you do get more experienced players coming in the NFL, which is good. You get another year of college. You might get more quality players coming out of college. But at the same time, the NFL is going to have to possibly make a move if NIL continues to be a bidding war and these players see a pretty big dollar value, dollar numbers. I wonder if this rookie pay scale increases, and the next thing you know, you're going to find yourselves, now trying to figure out, do I want to pay this rookie this much money? So I don't know. It's going to be weird.
And they're already coming here with that mentality. If you look at, I don't know how much you guys follow college football. You guys know about the UNLV quarterback?
Yeah.
Not the one we signed, but they had another kid, and he stopped playing because they didn't give him, I think it was like $2-3 million they were going to. So he stopped playing, and then they were left.
Was it that much? I thought it was less. No, you're right. You're right. It was. They were supposed to give him his first check of like $300,000 or something.
Something like that, right? And they didn't.
Yeah.
So he stopped playing. Yeah. And then you look at Nico, right? Nico said, I was promised this, I was promised that. Fuck it. I'm gone. Now he's over here at UCLA. Right?
Did he get less at UCLA than what he was supposed to get?
I'm not sure how much he got at UCLA. He might have. Yeah, I haven't checked how much he got. Yeah.
Don't be surprised with all the NIL stuff also starts.
But you might have been, because you think about it, Tennessee is a big SEC school. UCLA is the big school, a big program, but their football team isn't at the level of where Tennessee is. Right at this point.
No. That's the other big thing with NIL. It's just forcing these.
Yeah, see, look, you got 800.
If they don't get their own way, they're out. They go and transfer to another school.
Yeah,
because they're going to pay them more money. It's just they're like free agents, basically, unrestricted all the time. They can jump ship whenever they want to go to another school.
Well, I'd be really curious as to what happens when the colleges start to take a stand.
And that's going to be interesting. That'll be the interesting thing to see.
Because not all these schools have the same amount of money. Yeah, they don't have the same access to money. You know what I'm saying? No. And so it's like, if the SECs, the Big Tens, and the ACCs, if those conferences are like, screw you, we're not paying you.
Yeah,
then you're probably not going to get the same amount at UTSA, or San Diego State.
And we haven't got to our FCS kids, the 2 quarterbacks that we drafted, the one the receiver. But when I looked them up and when I heard about them, one of the things I liked, and this goes to what Daniel Kim was saying, I think Spytek and Carroll did a good job building guys that love football and have the juice to play and get better through development. Those 2 kids had the option to leave the FCS schools, right, and go to a D1 to get some of that NIL money, and they decided not to, right? Because they loved what they were doing. They loved where they were playing. They loved playing ball in those programs. Small-ass programs. Mind you, local legends, right?
Yeah.
The people in Montana were fucking losing it. The kid got drafted, right? Like, this is our fucking touchdown Tommy's our local hero or whatever the fuck, right? Or even in North Dakota with the other kid, Miller, with Cam Miller. But I think I was bringing that up because from this whole draft, I think Spytek and Carroll should get so much credit for the type of players they're bringing in and the direction we're moving forward with this team, and I think that starts even with the free agent signing, because a lot of us, or some of us, were bitching that we're not signing enough people, right? That we need to get this guy, we need to go get that guy. Why don't we get this guy? And I think the more patient we're being, you tell people to be patient, you're starting to see the kind of team they want to develop. And I think Pete Carroll said it from the beginning. I want people to compete. And when I look at the draft and the free agents and our roster right now, there's a lot of competition on all the fucking positions. And I think that's what they wanted to create and develop, and why they've built the team the way they have.
Yeah, I mean, everybody that picked up it is literally, lunch pail guys that come in. They're going to come in, work hard. Most of these guys have their head on straight. So I don't really see like a big thing where we have a lot of problems. And so they're very careful on picking certain guys that would fit the culture, that would fit also the scheme, that the system that we're going to go ahead and run. But I think that was very important. I think that's one of the things that's really stood out to me is like, these guys are really lunch pail guys that just come in, they're going to check in, they're going to go ahead and do work and call it a day after work after that, and be on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It's different because as Raider fans, we ain't used to that shit.
Yeah, right. It's like if it ain't drama, then
right?
It's not normal.
Yeah.
It's definitely not normal for us to maneuver the way we did within the draft.
Right?
The trade backs and all that. We usually we either stay or we feel like we got screwed or what have you. And it was good to see them make moves. You could tell that they were truly trying to read the board and understand the board.
Yes.
And so again, I hope that the guys that they got were the guys that were high on their list. Sometimes you trade back and you're like, oh shit, my guy just went. We don't know if that happened. We have no clue. But at the end of the day, it did look like, especially in that second round, whoever they wanted, and I heard rumor that it was Jaden Higgins?
Okay.
The receiver from Iowa State. I think that's what we heard when Houston picked Higgins. That's when there was two teams, us and somebody else, that were like, shit, okay, let's go ahead and trade back. We didn't get our guy. And we ended up getting Jack Bech. So maybe they were honing in on a receiver at that pick, and then they went ahead and traded back and still got a guy.
Yeah.
So
well, you remember a couple of months ago when actually, I think it was just after Pete Carroll was hired, on your show with Severe and Chris, you guys were talking about Pete Carroll's track record with the draft. Remember that night? And
you were shooting us a bunch of updates, man. Yeah, you were helping us out.
A ton of stats on that night. I think Pete Carroll did exactly what he did in the past, his true to form, by moving around the draft. Like, we didn't know what Spytek was going to do in this draft because he'd only been like on a part of the front office with the GMs in the past. He never really handled the actual draft, but we knew what Pete Carroll's tendencies were.
Yeah.
And I think he did exactly true to his form in the past. He moved around the draft board and he got the guys that he was probably targeting right from the get-go.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy with how he handled him and Spytek, how they handled this draft. I think they were masterful at it, to be honest with you. I think they were smart moves.
Hey, shout out to Lorenzo. 17 days away from the Raider Nation kickoff. Looking forward to seeing you. Hey, 3 out of the 4 up here on the panel are going to be there. A bunch of dudes in the chat will be there. So cannot wait, man, to see everybody there. Get your tickets, snatch your tickets up, get them early. Make sure you join. He does do a raffle for those of you who are buying your tickets already. Black Sunday box, right, is what they've been raffling. So make sure you go grab your tickets, y'all, and hope to see y'all soon. Yeah. Yeah, man. I like. I guess this. Maybe this is what I've been waiting for out of my fucking team. All right. The no drama, really. If any drama was created, I think maybe we created as fans sometimes. Even earlier, I was having not an argument, but a discussion with someone. So about the quarterback situation. Like, I thought Brady was gonna get us a quarterback. Like, what the fuck? Like, look at what we got. Like, where was that at? And then I thought to myself, like, when was it ever said that he was going to pick our quarterback? Mark only said, we'll ask him. He will have
speculation.
Right? But it was never said that Brady was going to be the one making all the picks. Even me, I that little video I showed you, right? I thought Brady told me he was going to get Shador if he was there, but he never said that.
No, I mean, they said that he was going to be very heavily involved in picking up our quarterback. Now, what could have happened is that you bring in Spytek and Carroll, and they're like, you know what? We're gonna hand you guys the keys. You guys do it as you guys wish. Whatever fits your guys' thing the best, right? Right. And that's kind of what ultimately went down. Also, too, I mean, if the whole attitude with Shador, I know he's tapped in, and I'm pretty sure he was either in the building or heard something, how that interview went when Shador came to visit. He's probably just like, no, fuck that. If that's just going to be his attitude especially knowing that where he came and he still had a bad interview. It's like, nah, fuck that. We don't need that shit in our building.
Josh, he said we'll help. He didn't say he was gonna be the one. Go back and watch that. He said he will help. He said, why wouldn't you ask him about his input? Because of the legend.
Yeah, they got us Geno Smith, so I mean,
I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they did, and he was just like, he probably got turned off too, like everybody else. It's just like, you know what, this guy, if he's gonna have a shitty attitude, he's gonna come in entitled. Is not gonna feel. If you guys feel like he's not gonna work hard, then why are we gonna pick him? You guys go with your best bet. You know, if you feel Jeanty is there, then get Jeanty.
I mean, how do you guys feel about the quarterback situation? I know we've always said, what about the future? What about the future? How long is Geno going to be here? You look at who we signed, who we drafted, who we have in the room still, you know. I know, Jeff, I always fuck around with you about AOC 2025. But I mean, looking at our quarterback room right now, I feel better about it right now than I did last season at this point.
Yeah, definitely, bro. It's an upgrade. I think that even picking up, you know, this guy Cam Miller and Tommy Mellett. I mean, these guys are project guys. So you have something that could be down the line 3-4 years down the road, and
talking about Tommy Mellett and Cam Miller.
Yeah, Mello, however you want to pronounce it.
Mellott. I think that's how you say his name.
Mellott. Yeah, I said Mellott.
You're saying Merlot.
Some people say Merlot, some people say Mellott. I don't know.
Mellott. Yeah. And Cam Miller.
I don't think it's necessarily the quarterbacks that we brought in. I think it has a lot to do with the pieces we're putting around them now, based on what we pulled in the free agency and the draft. That's what's going to make these quarterbacks better, or that's what's going to make the quarterback room better. You know, we brought in an offensive lineman through the draft off season. You got a running back that we can pretty much feel good about. You know, we brought in wide receivers. We've got Brock Bowers. I mean, we're putting the pieces around them that are going to make them better regardless of who they are.
You're right.
You know, so Geno's only going to be better than what we thought to begin with, because look what we gave him now. We gave him a run game. We gave him some offensive line pieces that are going to make him better. He's never played with Bowers before, so that already is a lot better than Noah Fant, which is what he had in freaking Seattle. You know, it's
Miller's
not just
back on the field, right? Back at practices.
It's not just the quarterback; it's everything around him. You know, everything around him just got better than what it was starting on Wednesday night before everybody went to bed. You know, so
and I don't think I've ever asked
you woke up Sunday morning going like, "Wow."
Yeah. I always tell my brother about his team. My brother's a Chiefs fan. And I always told him, and people say they got lucky they landed Mahomes. They didn't get lucky. What Andy did was build a team that by the time you got and you found the guy you wanted to and you were able to go get him and just implement him, put him in. And that's what they did, right? They had Alex Smith, right, which could be like our Geno or whatever, right, getting you, and he was only going to get you so far because he is good, but he had his limitations. And then you find that guy, right, that's going to be your fucking dude, and you finally pull him, and you insert him, and the weapons are already there. The O-lines are already there, right? We're already starting to create this defense. Because at first it was more about offense with them. Then later on, they started developing their defense. But it's like, that's what I thought we always should have been fucking doing, right? But again, I was always one that I was so in my mind about we need a quarterback. I just wanted to have the fucking quarterback already. Because I was tired of the garbage that we had after DC, the non-plan, right? Whether it was Jimmy or whoever the fuck they brought in to Minshew, to all that shit, right? Yeah. And but hold on, this was funny, bro. It was he said, "I'll give Shedeur credit. He was right about a team having to trade up for him. He just didn't clarify what round."
Right. I told you that we're taking a quarterback.
But that's a good way of putting it.
They didn't say what round.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, Jeff, I completely agree. It's not about the excitement of Geno. I think it's the excitement of the pieces that we built around, because I thought bringing in Geno, okay, he's going to help us compete, but I don't care what quarterback you are. If you don't have pieces to help you out, whether it's a damn good defense or it's pieces to help you, quarterbacks don't stand a chance for the most part.
Right.
I mean, look, I know you guys might have heard me say this before, but I've said it on my channel. quite a bit is, go look at Mahomes' stats when he lost Isaiah Pacheco, when he lost Rashid Rice, when some of his offensive linemen went down. Go look at his stats, man. He looked like a middle of the road quarterback.
Right.
The defense did all the work
last year.
Yeah. You go look at Matthew Stafford when Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp were out, and they had 2 rookie offensive linemen starting in the first half of that season. They scored 1 first half touchdown in I think a 6 or 7 game span. And Matt Stafford looked horrible, did not look like a good quarterback. And so quarterbacks can't do it on their own. Patrick Mahomes is probably the closest thing that I've seen him actually cook something up with barely anything around him. And Tom Brady too. But
Brady too.
That's few and far between. Yeah. That's very few and far between. And so
that doesn't happen very often. Yeah.
No, plus there's also certain coaches that can find quarterbacks. You look at McVay. He had Goff, did his thing with Goff, and then shipped him to Detroit, knew he wanted Stafford, and now he wins the Super Bowl with Stafford.
Super Bowl. And they were the closest team to beating Philadelphia last year in the fucking playoffs, bro.
Yeah.
Rams were with Stafford.
So there's certain coaches that understand how to find them and the traits that they're looking for in quarterbacks. Yeah. And those are the ones that have themselves a quarterback. And so they're and I've said this for the majority of my life. The quarterback position is without question the hardest thing to evaluate. It really is, because it's not just what traits do they possess and what are their flaws and how do you correct them, but it's also how do you complement them with their weapons around them? What type of quarterback, what type of talent complements what they can do? And it's hard to match all that together. The pieces have to come together. And
the one that shocked me though with all that was JD5. Because I wouldn't say he has a lot of weapons.
He doesn't, I think, but I think Jaden Daniels does have that he's able to take off and run. Like when you have your legs, it definitely plays a factor where you can get yourself out of trouble, right? Like Lamar Jackson, that could be a shit offensive play call, and he saves that offensive coordinator's ass because he uses his legs, So it's like that's the hard part to evaluate a little bit. But I said all that to say, look, Pete Carroll's actually done a pretty damn good job.
That's what I'm saying.
He drafted Russell Wilson, I think, in the 3rd round. So he found Russell Wilson. That was his guy. He went and got him. And then he knew when to kind of move off of him, and he prepped it. He brought Geno in a couple years prior to that. So he kind of prepped the situation of knowing I need to prep for life after Russell Wilson, and he found his guy. So the hope is that either Pete Carroll knows we already got something in the building that's going to cook a little bit, or we're going to trust that maybe he finds something next offseason or in next year's draft. So, it's obviously
please, when you say that, you don't mean to say next year's draft, saying it's because the quarterback class is going to be better next year, right?
Not that I do like Drew Aller, but
right.
I'm not saying the quarterback class is necessarily going to be better,
right? Because we don't even know who the fuck is going to come out at this point anymore. Yeah,
and you don't know. You don't know who is going to pop out, right? You have no clue who that quarterback that's all of a sudden his name's going to get real hot in the beginning of the season, or a name that's going to completely fall off.
Right. Everybody was saying one name that they're probably not going to let come out is going to be Arch. I can't see the Manning stable let him bail out of college that early. I think they're going to want him to play the full amount of time in college, to be honest with you.
They might want him to get what they could never get was that national championship.
That or the NIL money. The NIL money.
That too.
That NIL. Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah, that's true. You're right, because you do get surprises. I mean, I knew of Cam Ward, and I hate to say this, and I hope Ant's not on the channel anymore. But shout out to him the way he brought his value up this past season, right? Because he was not the projected number 1 quarterback going into the offseason, right? You had persons who were fucking all over Carson Beck and Gabriel, all those dudes. Even Dart brought his stock up this season based on how he played, right? So you definitely will see different quarterbacks, maybe that we're not naming right now, come up next year, right? Yeah. Their name might come up, and they're going to enter the draft. and then you're gonna be like, oh shit. But yeah,
yeah, I was actually disappointed that Cam Ward. I understood, but I was disappointed that Cam Ward went back to college last year though, because he was supposed to enter the draft, and then he opted out, and that's when
look,
he
it worked out for him. Last year he wouldn't have been number 1 pick. You had fucking.
Oh yeah, no way. Yeah. But I think that's why he went back though. I think that's why he went back, because he saw the quarterback class that was in front of him, and last year he would have been probably at best. I think last year he probably would have been in the conversation, probably like the 6th best quarterback coming out of last year's draft.
Yeah.
To be honest, with all the names, that just depends on how much you
there
like.
There was a lot of names. There was a lot,
yeah. So, but yeah.
You don't want Nico. John don't want Nico. I don't want the quarterback from UCLA. He quit on his team.
It's all right. We're going to be set at quarterback anyway. Gino's going to stop for now. ASC will take over in 2026. We're going to be good.
Oh, good Lord. You will not.
All right. So let's get on with the draft picks.
Out of here, bro.
Let's move on.
Come on.
There's been one common thing with the quarterbacks we brought in, and that's that they're mobile. The one thing that AOC is not.
Jeff, here.
Every time he tries to run.
Jeff, because I'm sharing the screen with you and you bring it up, I think you might have said this a couple times. I'm sure you have. When it comes to AOC, the hard part about him is that he just he's got the shit under the stick the moment he steps in the NFL. So it's like, look, there's a big question mark as to what he truly can be. I'm not saying he's going to be the next coming. I'm not saying that he's going to be shit. I'm just saying we don't know what he is. We have no clue. Because
I agree
you
100% with you.
You can't tell anybody that you can't say, yes, you could say what or kind of break down what he did last season or even the year before that, but it's been nothing but shit situation for him, whether he's throwing to practice squad receivers or whether he's throwing behind a banged up offensive line with 0 running game or an offensive coordinator that's never called an offensive play before in his life at the NFL level, even college level. He gets a shot, then he breaks his thumb, right? And then he gets a shot to come back in, and at the end of the day, it was a mess. So
and then he gets carted off. Yeah. And what was the injury? That's how he got carted off.
Fucking bruised his little fucking knee, bro.
It was a bruised knee, but I guess the pain he was. Have you ever bruised a kneecap?
Yes, yes, I have. Yes.
God, but. Just not being, not just falling down. He was.
I know
was a hard push from behind.
You know what? I know what 805 is saying. We don't know what he's going to be, but I know what he's going to be this year.
What is that?
QB2, bro. That's what he's going to be. Sitting behind fucking Gino, bro.
I don't even know if he'll be that, bro. I don't even know if he'll be that.
He might be QB3, bro. Don't be surprised.
He will be QB2.
But out in training camp. Just like Russell Wilson did with Superboy there that came in from Green Bay, Flynn. You never know.
Oh, I know.
Russell's a
quarterback. I know.
Bro.
This is a big disparity, bro.
I hope what happens is he can find himself some consistency. Obviously, Pete Carroll there, now Chip Kelly. He's got someone that's actually called plays in the National Football League at a high level. Has shown that he can produce a good offense. And so if Aiden O'Connell gets the opportunity to actually learn behind Geno Smith and get some quality coaching out of, and who's our Greg Olson, our quarterback's coach, then if he can't touch the field after Geno's gone or we move on from him, then the writing's on the wall. Got it.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll deal with that. I don't have a problem with that. But I agree with what you said. He has not had a real fair shake.
Seriously, I'm okay with riding out until his rookie contract expires, but I hope we don't renew it and don't bring him back.
No, I was hoping
roll with it. Yeah, I just hope roll with it. He's on the cheap. That's cool.
Yeah.
But after this year, I think he becomes a free agent next year.
He's going to get an extension because he's going to be the starter in 2020. We're going to trade Geno away.
Geno away and go ahead and lose 16.
Hey, I have faith in him becoming a starter at some point, just like you guys all had faith that Shador was going to be our pick at number 6. How'd that work out for you?
That was hope as a fan.
There's a difference.
The black belt, that's not a skill, bro. He don't fall apart when he starts running, bro. Oh, my bad, bro. My little knee got an air cast.
No, he just
36
negative yards in
to the
a
local
game.
hospital.
He just runs into defensive ends.
And mind you, Jeff, I wasn't always a hater of him, but it was after that Tampa Bay game that I was done with this motherfucker. Like, I'm done with you. Like, no, like, really? You're that fucking fragile? Like, you finally were bitching how you haven't got your shot. Here's your shot. We all hate Minshew. This is your fucking team to take, bro. Now is the fucking time. And then, really?
It happens. What are you going to do?
We know that if Gino goes down, he can step in, win us a few games here and there.
Right, and that's fine.
That's fine.
A formidable QB2, right? Yes.
Gino goes down, he's going to go undefeated for us. He won't lose a game.
Okay.
But to say we don't have to look for another quarterback because we have AOC as the backup is just blasphemy.
We don't. Why do we need another quarterback right now?
Because we need a future franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
We got him already. He's on our team.
Oh, good Lord.
There's no reasoning with Jeff.
You guys
Absolutely not.
Whole year because of his knee. Ewers must have done terrible when he came in with all these other guys in their 30, just thinking our draft. You know what I think? Yeah, I think Ewers must have been that bad for him to fall as far as he did. One, maybe when he did his own personal workouts, his performance at the draft. I don't know what's going on with Rourke's knee. I honestly was shocked too, because I mean he wasn't my favorite quarterback, but I see the plus in Rourke. Right, he's got the size, he's got the physical tools, things of that nature. Can he be coached up? Definitely, but. Yeah, man, that was crazy. Oh, Frank, say it louder. And motherfuckers were mad we didn't tank last season.
I'm still don't miss that talk. I hated that.
What happened?
The meaningless wins, bro. Oh man!
Well, either way, I don't think we're drafting in the top 10 next year unless we trade up into that.
No way.
Into that.
Yeah, I mean, not. I don't think not that it couldn't happen because we're the Raiders, right? So I don't see that it couldn't happen, but I don't want that to happen.
I don't want injuries happen like it happened last year.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I hope not.
Like if injuries happen, like we don't know what the fuck, right? Yeah.
So,
what's up, Dixon?
I'm knocking on everything, dog. Fuck that.
Keep our boys healthy for sure.
So shit. Yeah, let's keep going. We went on our rant. So the third round, we had good picks. Darian Porter, one of my favorites. Definitely Pete Carroll on prototypical corner. I was excited about this one, 805. I think I jumped out of my chair.
I think you made a little bit of noise.
I like that.
All right. And then of course we got into what 805 wanted was the big man.
Oh, this is where I got happy.
One of the big boys.
I got happy Friday night.
Yeah, he was excited about fucking Caleb Rogers, bro. He definitely was, right?
I was because we just addressed it. I wasn't sure about. I didn't know who Caleb Rogers wasn't on my radar. Because I liked Jonas Savanea. He was my favorite guard in the second round.
Yeah,
but Miami traded up and got him. I was pissed, but I was like, okay, Wyatt Millam's still there. Cool. Like that was my second favorite, but then the Jags snagged him up. And then they ended up they ended up actually getting Caleb Rogers. I was like, cool. They addressed it. Let me take a look at the kid. And man, the more and more you watch the kid, I'm like, damn, kid's actually pretty good. I think he's got enough skill set to really fight for that starting position. At this point, anybody's better than Dylan Parham. If Alex Kappa ends up starting, we're going to have some problems. So I hope he's a starter.
You got a question, 805. So they watch your draft review earlier, and then they watch ECG's breakdown as well. What's your take on Porter? How big or small is his bust potential?
Oh, man. Okay. So when we picked Porter, there's a guy that I actually wanted that was still on the board, which is Azariah Thomas from Florida State.
Oh, yeah, the Florida State kid. Yeah.
That's the kid that I wanted. Here's when I watch Porter, the tough part about him, I think he's got extremely good ball skills when the ball's in the air. I really like that about him. he kind of gives me, and I think Pete Carroll actually said this, Pete Carroll kind of did the whole the Sherman comparison.
Yeah.
And he does kind of give me that Sherman type of vibes, to where, as much as I think he had a pretty good athletic score, I think he had one of the best athletic scores, I think.
Let me check it. I'll check it right now. I have it.
I'm gonna be really curious how he supports the run. I know he can come up and come up on the run. I'd be curious just how well he does it.
9.9, bro.
Yeah,
that was his big score.
I think
no, 9.68. My bad. Yeah,
he can come up and support the run. I'm a little shaky on it when I watch some of the plays that he has. I just hope that he can keep up agility-wise with some of the better receivers in the league. I just watching him, he just looks just a little stiff at times. Not saying that he's not saying he's not going to work out. I just have my concerns. I actually liked Azariah Thomas much better than him, and I think he went like 3 picks later. So, but look, if Jacorian Bennett holds down that number 1 and he's our number 2, it's a pretty damn good number 2. I'll be honest.
Right? Yeah.
So I'm not mad at the pick whatsoever, and I do think it was a need. And when you pick him,
we added some serious depth in this draft. I think not serious, but I think we added some depth, some
competition.
Competition depth.
And when you pick somebody in the 3rd round, he better be he better compete and potentially be a starter. You're picking him with the intention of him being a starter.
So then why did we get him in
That's
the
guy.
Yeah, what? That's Charles Grant from William and Mary. Now, I liked him, but I thought it was soon. But I was just glad that we took another lineman. But to your point, what we talked about, a 3rd round pick should be a potential starter.
Yeah. I like the kid's upside in Charles Grant. I really do.
Yeah.
But man, there's clips where I'm sitting there going, man, like he detaches from defenders fairly easily. Sometimes he more. That was the one I just laughed at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he just needs to be coached up. I mean, he's coming from a small school. You don't know how he's going to handle NFL caliber talent. You just don't know. And so I posted a video on my channel earlier, and I'm like, look, if with Joe Philbin still in the building and is going to be able to help with, obviously, Pete Carroll's son, trying to develop this offensive line and coach up this offensive line, let's hope not this year, but possibly next year, he develops into something, because we don't know what Colton Miller's future is. Colton Miller could be gone next year if we don't extend him, and they might be thinking this is the guy. So
I think we keep Colton. I feel you.
And on a side note, Colton Miller did attend the voluntary OTAs this week. So good. That's a good sign. And I'm happy to see that. And I think he's going to stick around. I think something there might have been some communication finally, and some reassurances made. Like, hey, you know what? You just be patient, type of thing. You know, you'll get.
Did you see Grant's practice film from
Grant, which was on his highlight reel, which I don't know why.
Yeah, the bowl from the bowl the Senior Bowl practices.
I didn't watch a lot of it. I saw a couple clips here and there,
because that's where I'm hearing that you're seeing a lot. Because obviously, I mean, they put more stock in the practices sometimes than they do in the actual game. And supposedly, he was out there pretty kick ass out there.
And this was on his highlight reel, so I don't understand why. Because I am not impressed.
This might be one of them.
You ready?
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah, this is one where he just kind of lower.
What the fuck was that?
Yeah. You saw that. You saw that a few times, and that's. Yeah, I don't know. That's like, you know what that is? That's the 3rd grader that hasn't played football before, and he's learned to block for the first time. Yeah, that's what that is.
It reminded me of back when I used to play in high school, where offensive linemen couldn't use your hands. You had to block like this with your hands up on your chest, because you couldn't use your. There was times where you couldn't use your hands. You had to block with your elbows. So you had to block like this, so you couldn't. You had to make yourself as wide as possible. So, and that was the coaching was fist to nipples. That's what they used to tell us. Fist to nipples. Block like that.
So I think he's raw. I do think he's got really good athleticism. Raw. I think he's going to have all the athleticism to potentially play. But Jeff, just as well as I do. I mean, a lot has to do with your technique when it comes to offensive lineman. If you don't have the right technique,
footwork.
You won't stand a chance.
If you come out standing up out of your stance, you've already lost the battle with whoever you're going up against, guaranteed. Yeah, you're off base, you're off center. Your center of balance is so high at that point, it takes nothing. Which is why when you watch Parham, that's what you see with him half the time. He comes out of the stance too high, off center, and he ends up being bent over backwards because he's trying to recompensate for it. It's too late at that point.
So he's going to have to clean up his technique. He's got a lot to learn. But again, I think they're just looking at his size and his athleticism, and they're thinking they can coach him up and make him something. So
shit, I picked the wrong one. Hold up. There we go.
That time ago.
He looks like a fucking altar boy.
He does.
Looks like his name should be Chad, not Tom.
Here we go. That's it. Okay. Yeah, that's him right there. I don't know. Maybe I want more nastiness out of someone that big. Maybe
some of the footage I saw, man, it looked like he was just like tossing kids.
Yeah,
he's got some good highlights.
This is on Baldy's channel, so Baldy's trying to find the good in him. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was this off the cutting room floor that they didn't want anybody to see?
No, this is on Baldy's channel, so I don't know where he got this from. This is about him being a sleeper offensive tackle with huge upside. Yeah.
You mean he was sleeping as he was playing offensive
or sleeper usually.
I mean, right there, the way his arms are, the way he's using his hands, that's a good thing, right? He's got good use of his hands, the way he's fighting.
Yeah, but his feet are still. I think that they're still too far forward on him. He needs to get them back more.
Here you go, right there. He pushed the dude right there. Takes on the line.
Pushed the dude.
Sleeper usually means like maybe 5th, 6th,
right,
7th
right.
round.
Yeah, right there. That's a hold.
That's
a hold.
Flag on play.
So like, and I think watching Baldy was where I caught onto this kid as a sleeper. But like I said, on the third, it seemed like a reach to me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But maybe they really liked him, and that's why they took him in the third because they didn't want.
Kickouts look good when he's first coming off the ball. He's
well. I think what ends up being a little confusing, right, is you have this pick that is clearly a project. He's clearly a project. Right. We got a solid right tackle in DJ Glaze. We obviously have a solid left tackle in Colton Miller. So clearly a project. I think what was really interesting is you get him and then you follow it up with the next pick in the 4th round, which to me was probably the
Dante.
Love that pick. Yep. Love that pick.
Like there's that. I mean, that pick, you're sitting there going, maybe if they're really high on Charles Grant, right? If they're really high on that kid, maybe they thought he wasn't going to get past 108. And they knew they wanted Deontay Thornton. And so you just get the kid because you want him, right? Like if you're high on that kid and you don't think he's going to get past or you're going to have a shot if you pass him up and maybe it was too early for them to pick Deontay Thornton, then you just pull the trigger and you get him. But it is hard. It's hard to see such a project kid in the 3rd round when we have issues at the linebacker position potentially, right? We need to address the linebacker position. I wish we could have gotten an edge rusher.
Linebacker would have been good to me, so edge rusher. But I
like
linebackers,
like another linebacker.
If we would have took Deontay Thornton in the 3rd round, you know how you kept saying we need to take a shot before we leave because it was a good draft. Had we taken this dude, I would have did the shot.
Well,
I was ecstatic when we got this one. Size, speed, bro. Like I was happy Because I was saying that day I was so upset because I forgot somebody was saying we don't need receivers. I was like, what the fuck? What do you mean we don't need receivers?
I know.
Like you gotta be
two.
Yeah. Like what the fuck? What do you mean we don't
we need a
receivers?
certain type of receiver. That was the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we need a certain type of receiver because we all know Brock Bowers is going to be the number one target.
Yes,
but we needed
somebody. He has to be.
We needed
but now he
somebody
doesn't
that was
have to be the focal point of defenses, or he can't be. That's the hope, right? With these added weapons, you can't just focus on putting PS2 on Bowers and then that's it. We can't throw the ball. You know,
you hit Deontay Thornton one time, 40, 50 yards downfield.
Yeah,
that's it.
You're bringing safeties over. That's it. You're bringing safeties over, and now it makes that second round pick out of Jack Bech just that more attractive because now you got Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers, Zach Bech. Now they're eating. They're eating underneath 30 yards all day long.
Yeah.
And it's going to be very interesting to see how they use Trey Tucker. That's going to be the interesting thing is how Chip Kelly uses him and can he get the best out of him.
Now, I think having the weapons and the receivers, the kind of receivers we have now you can utilize Trey the way he's meant to be. I thought we were doing a disservice to him by putting him out there at 2. That's not his position.
But and this is where it was tough because we had to. Because if you remember, Michael Mayer goes, right? And so now we need to rotate. Basically, we got Justin Shorter off the practice squad. We're rotating tight ends. But now all of a sudden, Devontae Adams wants out. Right? Yeah. And we ship him off after what? Week 3.
3, 4, around there, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Around there. Jacoby Myers now has to step in as the number 1, but then he got hurt for 2 games.
2 games, yeah.
We have Trey Tucker and DJ Turner as our number 1 and number 2 receivers.
So bad.
Practice squad guys.
Yeah,
receivers. And so exactly. We had no choice but to move Trey Tucker around into positions that he wasn't intended to play.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what makes it tough. So again, hopefully we can stay, again, knock on as much of wood as we can find. But hopefully we stay healthy and Trey Tucker can play that true slot position, move him around, put him in motion, try to get him across the field. Utilize his speed. So we'll see how it works.
I just want to go back to the 2 offensive linemen, especially Grant real quick. Because I've heard this a lot too, and I'm okay with it. What about moving him inside the guard too? Because that's our weakness right now on that front line is our guard positions.
Yeah.
I am not opposed to if
I'm not opposed to them moving.
That's where we're weak. Yeah, he did play guard in college too.
And that was one of the things 805 brought up at the party was the fact that we get guys who can play guard and tackle.
Yeah,
like the bonus that brings to your O line, right? That you can have them look at Glaze. Glaze play both, right? Same with him with Grant, he could play both. So I think that'll be fucking good in that sense, where you can utilize them on the inside if we needed to.
Because there's 3 guys in the line. I don't want them to move from their positions. That's Miller stays at left, Glaze stays at right, JPJ stays at center. Because that was the other rumor was, well, let's move JPJ to guard and put someone else in it. No, no. Keep your weak spots, your 2 guards. Fill them with who you think you can fill them with. Don't fuck around with moving JPJ from where he is. He's where he needs to be. And don't take Glaze off being right tackle. He did too good last year. You don't move him around. I'm sorry.
Hey, you guys, just so you know, my boy Jordan Meredith, he's going to hold it down. Don't you guys worry. He's going to hold it down.
I hope he does. I hope Meredith holds it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's my guy.
Now, I know people say that they like Kappa, right? That
no one says that, Leo. No one says that.
I'm saying,
I only said it'd be nice if he does, if he steps up, but I don't see it. I mean, granted, we got him the year after he had his worst career year yet, but
we got competition in the building, which is good. So we'll see.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Now, Tonka. We're doing about draft playing around, and I said a guy named Tonka needs to be on the fucking race.
But at 143,
that's what I was gonna say. At 143, I don't know.
That was my biggest question mark.
Yeah.
Was we still need a linebacker. It would have been good to get in some depth at edge because you got Malcolm Kuntz that's coming off a season-ending injury. You just don't know how he's going to produce. There were still some really quality edge rushers on there.
And you keep saying that edge rusher. Yeah,
and especially we didn't have a 5th-round pick either. So now you're going a big stretch from your next pick too. That's the other thing. I don't really agree with this pick when it happened, to be honest.
And then our next pick was at 180. So that's a lot of motherfuckers that went off the board between there. Yeah.
And the weird thing is, like, don't get me wrong, I don't want to jump to the next pick, but you took back-to-back defensive tackles. Now, I love the depth, I love the rotation, but at the same time, I'm sitting there going, you went back-to-back defensive tackles. The one right after this pick, Tonka, when we picked up Tonka Hemingway, Joshua Farmer was still on the board, the D tackle from Florida State. And I thought he fit more as to what we needed, a big defensive tackle that was going to be a plug, kind of like what James Jenkins was supposed to be for us last year. Yeah, but that didn't work out too much. But I was just looking at what was still left on the board when we took this kid, and it was a little, I don't know. It was kind of a head scratcher to me. He could turn out to be a very good rotational piece. Right, one thing I do like about him is him and JJ, our next pick. They're very athletic, which means we are going to be able. Yeah, we're going to be able to get after quarterbacks with a good rotation, right? You get more athletic interior defensive linemen in there. They're going to be able to close distance on the quarterbacks really quickly with their speed and their athleticism. So, I love the rotation. I love building in the trenches. I'm with you on that. Just, man, could you have got him a couple rounds later? I don't know. So, I don't know.
And I like the back-to-back D tackles for that reason, because the trenches, right? The depth, the competition. Because after our two main dudes, it goes again and back, right? Who's competing? Yeah. Malcolm Butler, Yeah. Who else is in there?
Maybe we didn't take linebacker because maybe they see something in Eichenberg.
So
I hope Severe's not in here. I hope Severe's not in here.
Yeah, I know. We said that, like, maybe PG believes more in these linebackers than we do as fans.
I mean, what else would explain why we didn't even try for him?
Man, I'm with you. Yeah, I think, Leo, we were saying it. I was like, man, maybe this coaching staff just thinks a lot more highly of this linebacker core than we do. So we'll see how it works out.
Exactly, John. We have Gaynor and White. That's not, to me, like, we're there.
I mean, I projected that Gaynor was going to make, because he was an undrafted free agent. He was a UDFA last year, and in the offseason, when it was announced our undrafted free agents, I kind of started doing my research, and Gaynor was the guys I thought had a good chance of making this 53-man roster because of the lack of depth we had at the linebacker position. And so obviously he made it, but I'm not thinking that Gaynor is going to be the next stud linebacker. That remains to be seen.
Like Blaine,
but Gaynor and White don't remind me of like Romanowski and Beaker at I will say that.
But when you get to number 7, I don't know. That's my sleep.
Remember Morrison, the law firm of Morrison, and what was the other linebacker? Kirk Morrison.
Johnson, wasn't that the kid's name?
No, Thomas Howard. Yeah, Thomas Howard. The law firm of Howard and Morrison and Howard. If we can get back to those days, bro, I'd be cool.
Morrison was the reason why I was good with being a linebacker as a youth kid.
Yeah, Kirk Morrison, Captain Kirk. Yeah. He was cool, man. He was cool. Yeah, I liked him. Yeah.
Morrow.
But I mean, like you said, and then of course we didn't have a 5th round pick, but I like this kid. I got excited about him, the athleticism. Right?
I thought it was a great pick.
I thought it was a great pick. Pegues, I really, really liked him. I hope I see him on the offensive side of the ball a couple times as well. Right?
Oh, they're gonna cook something up. You know that.
Come on, man. How are you not gonna love seeing a big dude like that in the backfield? Tell me you're not gonna get hyped.
How funny would that be if
two motherfuckers?
How funny would that be if Zamir White starts trotting on the field and JJ Pegues grabs him? He's like, no, I'm in.
Right?
Places his ass on the goal line. That'd be pretty classic.
Like, nah, bro. They said we need to get it in the end zone. Like they're putting me in. Like, oh shit.
But JJ Pegues to me just felt like that was the bigger D lineman that we should have gotten in the first place. That's why the Hemingway pick. I mean, we got him. It is what it is. But JJ Pegues just kind of felt like that was the type of D lineman we should have went after. But you can't. Again, I guess I'll go back to it. You got to love the fact that we got solid rotation. These guys are going to be fresh on the defensive line, and we're going to kind of get after these quarterbacks. So
I'm going to program myself to stop saying depth because I know James. Shout out to my boy James from the Black Hole Military Chapter. He hates that because he feels we've been signing depth. Now we're drafting depth. Okay, competition. That's what we're fucking bringing in. It's competition.
Dude, that kid had some weird takes on Monday night. Holy shit.
Hey, we're all different. You still believe
you guys think I get weird sometimes. Holy shit.
My nephew tells me all the time, does that guy with the beard really like Aiden O'Connell? I'm like, yeah, he does.
Oh, talking about me?
Yeah. He's wondering if you really do, or
if you just not a beard. Go to bed, kid.
Yeah, my nephew always be asking me, like, the guy with the beard, does he really like Aiden O'Connell?
I do.
Oh man. But I mean, then the next two, of course, you got touchdown Tommy. It's not a quarterback, wide receiver.
Yep.
Wide receiver out of Montana State, and then of course Cam Miller, right? I think this one left a lot of people scratching their heads. Like, why? Why them? How come? What are we doing? I was cool with it. I had heard about touchdown Tommy before as an athlete.
I forgot to change that. That should have actually been wide receiver.
No, I get it. Fine, don't worry about it.
We did draft him as a wide receiver. So
yeah. But I mean, I had heard about him, the hype behind him. So in the 6th round, I wasn't mad.
He's got 49-40. That's fucking fast, bro.
Dude, people. But then again, like people are already calling him Julian Edelman. Can we slow down? Calling these people.
I don't like that.
Right,
and it's because look, have you seen the kid run a route? Like, we don't know how he runs routes, so I don't know. Have you seen him catch a football? I don't know. So it's like you're drafting him for a position that hopefully they've seen exactly what he can do as a receiver, and we'll see how it works. I'll just give my quick take on it. Honestly, I think he can battle as a receiver, but I think the way that he takes off and runs with the football, I think he's got return specialists written all over.
Right. Special return. Yeah.
He just reminds me of a faster Taysom Hill is what he reminds me of.
Is he as big as
that? He's just got that athletic ability. Like he's just, I don't know how to describe it, I guess.
And I heard that, but I don't think, how big is Tommy?
He's not big. He's a smaller kid.
6 foot.
Taysom Hill was a big fucking dude, though.
Oh, I know he is, but that's what I'm saying, though. Like just the way they use Taysom Hill, I mean, he was out there in so many different positions,
Yeah.
I see that same thing with this kid in a way, just based on his speed. Like, and I agree with 805. I could see this kid as a return specialist.
Hey, shout out,
his speed and everything. Good God.
Yeah, I think that's where
right?
Yeah.
They played each other. The two.
Yeah, they played each other in the championship. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If y'all want to watch that game, rewatch that game. Yeah. I mean, that way you'll be the only person besides Turf and his 3 friends that watched it. But,
But that's the only thing I can get from his, because, man, I went up and I tried to look film on this kid, and his highlight film's like 20 minutes long. He's got nothing but highlights at that level. And so, but the only thing I can kind of get from his highlights is he works extremely well in open space. When he takes off, he's got extremely good vision. He's elusive. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can break tackles at the same time, so he's got the speed, right? Just shy of a 4.40, which is blazing. So
right.
To me, I'm like, again, because I've never seen him run routes and I've never seen him catch a football. Cool. Could he do it? Yeah. And he throws like a receiver. Where's the flag? Like, that's the funny part.
If he throws like that, how did he only have, 3 interceptions? And like 30 some odd touchdowns?
It's because he did exactly what a quarterback's supposed to do. You only throw it if it's open or you take off and run.
Oh, okay.
So he did a very good job of staying out of trouble. That's what I'm assuming. I haven't watched a ton of film on him. But
we got to bring Turf on and have a whole show on just Tommy.
But That's kind of honestly, that's where I think if he works out as a receiver, that'd be great. If he challenges Trey Tucker or has competition with Trey Tucker, we'll say competition.
Right, that's the other part I was thinking.
Like,
too. Yeah.
I think without question, he's gonna, what's his face? Our 6th rounder last year, Dylan Labe, he might not be catching kickoffs and punt returns, bud. So,
yeah. So instead of calling him Julian Edelman, I want to call him our next Jacoby Ford, hopefully, because we haven't had an actual legit kick punt returner like Jacoby Ford in forever.
Fixed it. Okay. I think he's gonna be like a Taysom Hill type of guy, to be honest with you.
He's not big enough to be like that.
See?
Though.
Still, I mean, he's gonna go out there, be a receiver, and take some snaps and run the ball. They're gonna utilize him something similar to that effect.
I think what you guys are kind of alluding to is what Taysom Hill does, but not necessarily like goal line.
Right. Okay.
Goal line.
Because I think Taysom's situation when they bring him in, they bring him in that short yardage or in the goal line because he's so fucking big, and you have to worry about what he can do. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, of course, our future quarterback. I mean, again, I don't know much about this kid other than that game, the FCS championship, another legend in the FCS. So what they did, all I know is I heard that they did over 1,000, 3,000 scouting reports on the entire draft. So they did their fucking homework when it came to this draft. And if they felt they had to use a 6th round pick to get this kid 2 picks after getting Tommy, there must have been something they saw that they liked and they want to take a chance on.
I think the Tommy Mellott one makes a little more sense because if you're really that high on that kid, we had so many picks in the first 5 rounds.
Yeah.
That these kind of ended up being luxury picks. We had 11 total picks. We've only had 11 draft picks one time in the last 20 years. And so
2007, I think it was.
Yeah. So I think with all the trade backs and the additional 3rd and the 4th and all that, I think we had so many picks up front that these were guys that they just did not want to hit the UDFA list. So especially Mellott. Now the North Dakota State quarterback, I don't know. I watched this film. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's better than Carter Bradley. He's a better scrambler.
Carter Bradley. I heard Chris say Leo likes Carter Bradley on your show, by the way.
Did you say? Like as a pure passer, I think Carter Bradley's. I think Carter Bradley has a slight edge over Cam Miller as a pure passer, where Cam Miller has the edge as a runner over Carter Bradley. Not to say Carter Bradley can't move; he can extend a play. He can get a first if it's wide open. So this pick right here to me feels like this is why preseason is going to be exciting because I want to see Carter Bradley kind of battle and go at it and see who takes that quarterback spot potentially.
Yeah, I don't even need to see Geno in the preseason. All bullshit aside.
Yeah.
I don't even see
there should be 3 quarterbacks we see playing in the preseason. That's AOC, Miller, and Bradley. Those are the only 3 that should be on the center.
Right, yeah. No, I think Tommy's just going to stick.
Because you already know what you got with Geno. I mean, Pete Carroll wouldn't have brought him here if that was the case.
Right.
We'll see him like at the last game of preseason.
I don't even want to see Geno. I don't want no Trent Green.
I don't either. I don't want to take a chance of him getting hurt.
Right? Yeah. Imagine. Oh my
god. That's nice. That's what you guys want, but not necessarily going to happen.
But
they got to make him take some snaps.
The great thing.
I mean, you can take snaps all you want in practice. It's not like a preseason. Yeah.
No, they got.
The only reason I think that Geno might take snaps in preseason is because one of the hardest things for a quarterback to do is get chemistry with his receivers in live situations
and the center.
So you might see 1 or 2 series tops. Not to say that does a whole lot, but I could see him get a couple series. But I agree. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him at all either. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, especially with the way they're lengthening the schedule. I know we mentioned that. Was it last week, Jeff? About maybe moving to an 18-week schedule instead of a 17?
Yeah, they've been saying that.
I started playing less and less in preseason when you make it that long. And then you'll see in the beginning why week 1, 2, 3, there's a lot of sloppiness too because they didn't do the preseason games like they used to.
I think the earliest they're talking is 2026 season might jump up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously, it's too soon. It's too late to do it for this.
Rose Town said, "I need to see AOC too and see if there are other two look better than him." Yeah.
So that was it. Miller was our last pick, right? We didn't pick anybody.
No, there was one more.
Right? Oh, there was another guy.
One more. I'm trying to, because I know how much he liked this pick. That's why he was in the channel with us when it got picked.
Who did?
805, because he liked this kid. He was talking about him earlier on too that night.
Man,
I think he had actually mentioned him
linebacker
on day 2, right? He said Cody Lindenberg was still up there.
It was no. I mean, that was if we were to continue to drop.
Right.
Then it was the 6th round is where I wanted to target Cody Lindenberg. Obviously, got him the 7th, which is good value. But
right.
I'm telling you, I think this guy is probably my sleeper of the draft, to be dead honest.
Cody Lindenberg. Okay.
And there's a couple ways that I kind of look at sleepers, right? I don't think our linebacker room is very strong to start. But I do like what I see on Cody Lindenberg's film. Just, he goes downhill extremely well. He's a sure tackler. He can go sideline to sideline. He also does a very good job in the passing game. He has a nose for the football. He tracks the thing down.
Right.
And he's like that old school type of linebacker where he's going to come and meet you in the hole. So all it takes is for Devin White to be the Devin White of last year, the year before. All it takes is for Landon Roberts just not to, go to produce. And you look at Amari Gaynor, you look at Eichenberg,
Masterson.
You look at Masterson. Is Masterson still even here? Jesus Christ!
Is he? I was about to ask. Is he still on the roster? Hey, what up, fool? Raiders Chris Homie, what's going on?
What's up, Chris?
And
I haven't heard that name in a while. Masterson, is he still on the roster?
Let me tell you right now. Oh no, where do I have it? Where do I have it?
See, like,
go ahead, keep talking. I'll find it for you.
Rosestown, I think he's adequate enough in the pass coverage because I think he's a true middle linebacker. I don't think he's going to have to do as much as maybe play the same role as Robert Spillane, where he's not truly having a guard. Running backs out the backfield one-on-one a lot of times. He might have to just drop into coverage. So I think he could play adequate enough. But again, we don't have the strongest linebacker room. So, in my opinion,
Eichenberg, Burry, Gaynor, Lindenberg, Brandon Smith, Matt Jones, and Jalen Walker. No Masterson.
Yeah, I don't think Masterson. But so I think that's why that's kind of my sleeper of a player that might find himself seeing the field on Sundays, whether someone goes down or he gets some, maybe he gets a dozen snaps or so in a rotational role. But Cody Lindenberg is my sleeper of this draft.
Guess who's listed as our kick returner?
Mullet.
Dylan Lobby.
I know. Yeah, not for long. Not for long.
I was funny how you just said right now. Yeah. What about you, Jay? How you feel about the linebacker, big dog?
Oh, I mean, I'm happy we were able to go ahead and address the room, bro. Shit. We're going down certain rounds. I'm like, when are we going to get a linebacker? I was thinking maybe in the 4th, the 6th.
I think everybody was saying that, right? Like, when the fuck are we going to get a linebacker?
and it took it to the 7th round. I'm like, God damn, there you go.
Right? Yeah.
Well, 805 was in with us pretty much most of Saturday, and that was one of the big talks. Is like, when are we going to get one of these linebackers? Because it's like, what the hell are they waiting for? And then when the 4th round was over, I'm like, well, that's it. We don't have a pick now until number 6. It's like, I mean, I thought for sure we were going to do something in 6, but then when they finally picked him at number 7, he's like, finally. It's like, what the hell? It's like, Jesus.
Yeah. Amari Burney and Amari Gaynor were the other two. Yeah. So I mean that was it. I was overall. They brought somebody up that I didn't want to talk about. I mean, not because I think he's going to come in here, but what's his name? The undrafted quarterback out of UNLV that we picked up.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I think on your show, you guys talked about him a little bit, 805. And the one thing I do like about him was the fact that, so we mentioned earlier the original QB from UNLV left, and they were rolling. They were balling, right?
Yeah.
And then they were like, what the fuck are we going to do? The way this kid stepped in, bro, no hesitation, no hiccups, had that team rolling, shows a lot to me about the type of person he is, right? He might lack certain skills, maybe as an NFL quarterback, but definitely as to a character guy that maybe can come in and make some noise if given the chance. Who knows, right? So I'm not saying he's going to make the squad, but it would be interesting to see what happens to him on this team. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have a theory as to why we possibly brought him in.
Mm-hmm.
And that type of quarterback. One, I think he can come in, definitely compete and see what he could do. But if you look at the type of quarterbacks that we're going to face this year, we're going to face a lot of mobile quarterbacks. We're going to face Patrick Mahomes. He can move. Bo Nix can move. We're going to face Jaden Daniels this year. He can move. We're going to face Caleb Williams. He's going to move. You need the importance of replicating certain skill sets in practice is extremely important, and that's what this kid can do. This kid's going to be able to move, and if you can replicate that in practice and keep this kid on the practice squad, I think that's part of the reason why they potentially got him and brought him in. Right. And so you got to replicate that in practice. It's one of the things that I talked about when we beat the Ravens last year. That's one of the hardest things to do is replicate Lamar Jackson in practice.
Yeah, Lamar.
And if you can't do it, good luck playing against it on Sunday. So this kid can move. This kid can throw the football. You get that combination in there. I think there's a good chance that this kid's going to provide some good practice help.
That makes sense.
In preparation for game day. So I think that's part of the reason why we brought him in.
Yeah. And practice squad guys can get picked up by other teams on your practice squad, right?
Yes.
Yep. That's how we got Darren Waller.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That is how we got
Baltimore's practice squad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's how you lose guys too. It sucks.
Raider Shield family, shout out for $5. Fellas, just a thought. Seems all draft picks and free agents were character picks. Hard-hitting bangers with shit to prove. Your thoughts? Jay, you're on here too.
I think they were mentally tough guys. I mean, it is.
Yeah.
It appears like they're not a bunch of dumbasses. You got whether they were small school, big schools. It just seemed like these kids that we brought in are players. I mean, there were head scratches, but there was nobody that had any type of, as of right now, anyway, questionable pasts. We didn't reach as far as I'm concerned. I don't think we really reached for anybody. I don't know if any of you guys feel different about that.
I mean, we did say the third round. Grant.
I think Grant and Hemingway were two potential reaches.
And then he did say Tonka Hemingway. Yeah.
Yeah. But we didn't have a fifth. So sometimes it's tough, right? Like you just don't
know. We didn't have a fifth.
So. Losing that fifth round, you're kind of forced at the end of the fourth to make a decision like that, So I mean, kind of get it in a way then if that's the case. But I think we moved around the way we should have.
What's interesting though is I think we're going to look like a very massive team.
I appreciate you.
Because look at our defensive backfield.
Yeah,
I think our shortest guy in the secondary is 6'2.5". I mean, you got nothing but 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" in that defensive backfield with speed for the most part.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to fly on defense, which is going to be interesting. It kind of coincides with the athleticism that they drafted on the interior defensive line. And so, I think at the end of the day, we're going to fly on defense, man. We're going to fly. We're going to look big, and we're going to have some hitters with Jeremy Chin.
The one thing I wanted this draft was feeling good about. Corner was one of them, right? Receiver was another one for me. Obviously linebacker, but that didn't happen. But like you said, maybe PG felt more comfortable with the dudes he has already than we do, right? But yeah, to your point, I remember being on here a couple of weeks ago with Rundown, and we put up our DBs, and it was like, whoo, it's fucking horrible.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you guys this. See what you think. Because before the draft started, our weakest room was obviously our running back room. What do you think?
One of them. Yeah.
Well, one of them, yeah. but definitely probably the weakest. Let's just leave it at that. It was definitely the weakest with a 2.3 average per run. That's pretty fucking weak.
Right.
Is now our weakest room on the team now after the draft. And after
I still don't have faith in the linebacker room.
But I don't think it's running back room anymore. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, I still don't have faith in the linebacking room. But then when I saw the DTs they took, the ability, the depth, I always said that the best friend of a corner is a great pass rush, right? But then also with the linebacker is if you can get your big guys to protect you. Now, if your big guys in front of you can protect you, where those guards and fucking whatever's coming out to block you don't get to you so fast, then you can excel as a linebacker, right? You can make more plays. You're more free to do that. So I think right now for me would probably be linebacker, right? Yeah.
And chat, chime in with what you guys think too.
Frank says linebacker or safeties, maybe. He doesn't believe in Jeremy Chin or the Oos. Yeah. Or maybe even the depth. Because I mean, what do we have after them too, right? Yeah.
Leo, competition.
Yes.
Competition.
Yes.
I look, I think it's linebacker.
But
the one thing that I am very curious as to how we're going to address is the nickel corner.
Ooh, that's going to be a great competition.
Because my guy Jacob Parrish went in the third. I'm just saying, guys. Okay, I'm just saying. Jacob Parrish went in the third, just so everybody knows. Okay.
Rosetown says guard, linebacker, corner. He still thinks it's corner.
Yeah, I mean the guy that I think is going to have to now potentially play the nickel corner position is Darnay Holmes. I think that's who they might be putting there. I don't see Isaiah
Green Bay.
No, he was on our team last year.
Was he?
I don't know. I forget where he came from though. But you know, he got some decent playing time last year. I think he played.
Eric Stokes. That's the guy I was thinking about. Sorry. Yeah.
And so that's one of my biggest concerns. I do think we at least address the guard position with Caleb Rogers, and so we'll see how that works out. But the nickel corner position, I don't know. No, that's where I think we do have still a lot of salary cap left. You obviously we'll have the cuts that will happen. And I'm still going to kind of stand on it. We'll see what happens. But my thing is that, you know, there's a chance. And again, I'm not saying I think there's a good chance he can play it, but I hope the Raiders are eyeing Asante Samuel Jr. to potentially come in and be a nickel corner for us. And so, you know, I know he's more of a traditional outside corner, but man, the kid is quick. He's going to have to get coached up a little bit in the slot position from Pete Carroll. But look, Pete Carroll knows how to coach up DBs. And so if he can get something out of Asante Samuel Jr. and try to get him to move inside, then again, at the end of the day, I hope that maybe we're eyeballing him to just kind of see how he moves. Maybe that could be an option because we have, I think, $42 million in salary cap space.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, 42.
Which we can use to extend Colt Miller, y'all. I'm just saying.
Correct.
Nothing wrong with that.
and potentially Jacoby Myers. You know,
and Jacoby Myers, right?
So we'll do both of them if we could.
Exactly. So before we say we have money to spend, we can still sign those two and look good next year, right? Yeah.
So we still got money to work with.
So Jay, what's your thought on what you think the weakest room is now after the draft?
I still think we need to add some more depth at linebacker, to be honest with you. Corner's probably right there, close second, but linebacker for real, we do need to add a couple more. Just looking at the UDFAs that we got, because we did pick up some linebackers. You know, I'm not mad at it. I mean, at least we're doing something, but I don't know for whatever reason. They're just not. I think they're comfortable with what we have, unless there's something in the works that we don't know about.
Yeah,
but I'm really scratching my head because we picked up Jalen Walker from Indiana and then Matt Jones from Baylor, and that's it as far as linebacker. And we already have Cody Lindenberg, and then we picked up a couple. The corners are not bad. I mean, we picked up the big notable Melo Dotson from Kansas. I like him. I think that was a good pickup. I want to see how he works out.
Having a great tandem at corner, bro.
Oh yeah, I like that Melo Dotson. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I like the kid. I think on our Raider War Room show, we broke down all the UDFAs. I think yesterday. It was yesterday.
Man, so how did you do that? Did you guys like assign a player to each person, or did all three? Like that was some fucking.
I just started doing some. It was quick review for me because I couldn't spend a whole lot of time, so I looked to just get kind of a sense as to who the player was, and so. Yeah, I mean, I got to do more research. I still got about 3 more guys I got to go over and then just dive in a little bit deeper. But, yeah, I already got kind of a sense as to who I think could potentially make this squad. And, for myself, when I look at UDFAs, I think the only chance – look, they're all UDFAs, okay? So the likelihood that they make the squad is pretty slim. But the way that I consider whether or not a player can actually make – this roster is one, you first got to look at how good is the position group anyways. So
right.
Room is pretty weak. There might be a UDFA that has a chance. That's why I think Cody Lindenberg has a chance because he's already coming into a linebacker room that is probably the weakest on our roster. If injuries happen, right? Like last year, one of the guys that I wasn't high on prior to Michael Gallup exiting the team. But as soon as Michael Gallup decided to retire, I said Ramel Keaton now has a shot because we needed depth. Like we had no depth basically at the receiver position, no quality depth at least. Ladicius Griffin. I thought Ladicius Griffin would have a chance because I wanted competition for Trey Tucker and a return specialist. That didn't pan out. But I also thought that Amari Gaynor had a really good chance because our linebacker room was not very good.
Nothing strong.
We had Spillane, Divine Diablo. Still, we need to figure out what he had. Luke Masterson, I wasn't sold on. Amari Gaynor didn't know what we had out of him, and Tommy Eichenberg was a 5th rounder. So I thought Amari Gaynor had a good chance of potentially making the squad. And so. When I look at UDFAs, I just look at, okay, is the position groups already weak that we have on the roster? Is the depth weak? And do they bring some value to the team? And so, there's 4 guys right now. Oh, sorry, my other one that didn't pan out, but Andrew Coker, offensive tackle. That we were from TCU.
Oh, Coker. I remember him. Yeah. Okay.
Because I thought our depth in the offensive line was not very good, and we needed a right tackle. We didn't know that DJ Glaze was going to turn into what he was. But I thought Andrew Coker had a chance, but that never came to fruition. So I have about 4 guys this year that I think have a really good chance of potentially making the 53-man roster. So. Yeah,
Sin R2D2. We signed 15 undrafted free agents.
I think
they got a bunch.
I counted 13. 13. Yeah, unless there's something that got signed today and it just hasn't updated PFF.
Well, then there's that one that got added today, but he doesn't count as an undrafted free agent. He's still an international player.
I got 16.
You got 16? That's right. Because I'm on PFF and they're saying 13.
Because the international player got added today because they cut the other guy. Yeah. He got added today too. Yeah. Another DT.
Leo, I put that go to the very top of the banner list. There's that one that you wanted me to add in earlier.
Oh, yeah. So,
Hunter I know what it means if anybody needs to know the actual definition.
Yeah. So, contrary to proper belief, Josh McDaniels did not ruin Hunter Renfrow. Right? Hunter finally came out and said why he did not play, why he stopped playing. It was because he was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, an autoimmune condition, which if you keep reading, and I read at one point he was at 150 pounds?
He was down to about 150 pounds from his normal weight of like 180, 190 in that range.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So we had a hard time physically with his body. And, thank goodness now he's able, he decided to make a comeback and he is with Carolina. So, but I just wanted to point that out. I know a lot of people were like, oh, Josh McDaniels ruined him and da-da-da-da-da. And like,
Well, that's just no joke. I mean, anything with the colitis, it involves your bowels, and it's extremely fucking painful. I've never had it, but I just know from family members and being in the EMS side of things, it's extremely painful. It's not comfortable. Yeah. Like you can't go anywhere sometimes because of.
I always thought it was the headshots.
Well, there's no way he could be out there in the middle of a game. Let's put it that way.
And I think that's really good to point out because you really don't know what's going on behind the scenes. The amount of times that we have players, it's like
that's why I wanted to point it out. Yeah,
yeah, like my wife, she's got an autoimmune disorder, and luckily she's been able to kind of work through it, but she's had to figure out how to change her diet to make sure that her body reacts a certain way and stuff like that, and so it's hard to figure out. You don't know what's going on until you actually figure it out, and sometimes it takes a long time to be like, shit, did I eat something wrong? Or, is something going on? And especially with football players, you're either taking supplements or you're taking, some sort of protein or what have you that can mess with you. And you just don't know what it is. And so, one example is, and, obviously there's many, but like Jay Cutler back in the day.
Yeah.
Where Jay Cutler, all of a sudden, he didn't know that he had basically, what was it, like diabetes? Or he had something going on. I forget what exact, but sometimes you just don't know it.
You didn't know.
And you're trying to play through it, and people just think you suck, or people just think, like you gave up. But in reality, you got shit going on. So,
I mean, I know a lot of us don't like the guy because of who he played for, but Terrell Davis went through those severe.
Oh, Terrell Davis.
Oh yeah,
the migraine.
They were brutal, and he played in the Super Bowl with that.
Yeah, there was the point where he couldn't see sometimes because they were so bad. Yeah,
you basically go blind.
You go blind sometimes, for real.
Yeah. Or your eyes just black out, or they get all white. Like everything you see is kind of spotty, which is what I was going through with my issue. But sometimes my eyes would get, everything would get so bright that I'd have to sit there and keep my eyes covered for a few minutes before I could function again. It sucks. It's no fun, man.
One notable undrafted you didn't pick up apparently was Alvaro Martinez. Free safety from Miami. Apparently he's like touchdown Tommy has nothing on this boy. So
should have been the first pick of the draft. That shouldn't have been Cam Ward. It should have been this guy from Miami. 5 years,
bro. I'm just saying.
At this point, Miami owes Aunt Six money. At this point.
Right?
Facts.
Thanks, brother.
I hope Renfro all the best. Hey, for real, SoCal Sal. Me too.
100%.
Renfro will always be one of my favorite players. Yeah.
Hey, Rosetown.
Hear about what to shout or what to call our new receiver, Bech or whatever. My favorite one was fucking Renfro, man. The slot machine. I fucking love it.
Oh yeah.
That was fucking beautiful, man.
Glad to see he got picked up by Carolina and what.
Yeah, and it was good to see him playing again. He said, "Who the fuck is Alvaro Martinez?"
It don't matter, but it was worth the $2 super chat. That's what
right.
Because I guarantee people are looking him up. Like,
shout out to our guy.
Probably are.
Hey,
what's going on with Isaiah Bond?
Did you ever see his game footage?
Who? Alvaro? I have Xbox.
Hey, Oz got it. It's great.
I'm about to say, I don't know. I don't know if you want to look it up. Who knows what'll pop up in a Google chat? I don't know.
Oh man,
I'd be afraid.
So I haven't looked it up, but I heard that the Isaiah Bond stuff is actually pretty damning. I heard that, or I think it was East Coast. I think East Coast was in our chat yesterday, and he said that there's like text messages that were thrown out that are pretty damning, which is tough. So
right.
There's a reason. There's way too much access that these organizations have that if he didn't even get picked up as an undrafted free agent, something's up.
Something's up.
You know what I'm saying? And so usually if shit goes down and there's a chance that the kid didn't do anything, or it's looking like something didn't happen, you might see him in the 7th round, or take a shot as a UDFA. But man, if they're not even pulling the trigger as a UDFA, that's tough. But innocent until proven guilty. But man, he is way too good of a player for organizations not to do their homework and really figure out what's going on. And for everybody to pass on him, even as UDFA, I hope it's not Who's that kid? The Ariza kid, the punter. I hope it's not a situation like that.
Yeah, the punt god. I remember him. Yep.
Yeah, I hope it's not a situation like that because it just, it really.
Man, I didn't know how the F. I thought his name was actually Dixon, y'all. I mean, these motherfuckers pointed out what his name really is. Sorry, I don't think that would want to joke. I really think people use their name or their super name up in this bitch. Like,
I don't. 805. You heard about that, right?
No, I didn't.
He until about 2 weeks ago, he didn't realize Dixon Carter what it stood for. I mean, Dixon Cider. He thought it was his real name, and then
his name. I'm looking at 805. I don't think he knows either.
I don't know.
So
I don't know either.
So say the first part and then pause and then say the last name.
Yeah, I'm on social media. I don't need to be saying names and then I'm gonna get caught. Oh shit. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, we got another one.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
That's why. Okay, hold up. Okay, that's why. That's
name for YouTube. Shout out to my guy Dixon.
So this is why. Now I can't even say your goddamn name.
Exactly. That's what I said
from here on out. You get a new nickname.
I just say Dixon from now on.
Yeah, it's gonna be DC from now on. I'm sorry. And yeah, y'all exposed me. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing: is I think, damn, I don't even want to call you DC. Just doesn't sound right now.
Right? Is that even good?
He's the one that always tries to get people in the chat to say those things.
No, Bueno does.
Bueno does it, but
Bueno too. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just Dixon now. Dixon does it too.
That's what I said.
It's almost as good as Navman's old lady. It's almost as good as the name Navman's old lady. Shout out to Ardell.
But it's even better when Ardell's name got stuck that way for an extra. He got what 14 days where he couldn't change his name.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's that man. Okay, I've been saying that this whole time.
Yep, same, bro. Same.
Yeah, it took him for a little while.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I love it. There you go, Dixon.
My guy roasted better than money.
Holy shit.
Screw this social media shit. Goddamn, you guys try to expose me like that.
Right? That's what I'm saying, man. I'm over here just trying to.
I'm just saying it constantly. Yeah, that's probably why the wife gives me the crazy side eye when I get off the lives. She's like, "What'd you just say? What'd you say? You said it like 9 times that live. What's going on?"
Oh my Lord, right? But anyway, I mean, yeah, that was it. I mean, I'm cool with it. I'm ready for the next part. You know, the schedule, the camp's coming up.
That comes in May 14th, so Wednesday too. So we'll be on that night.
Training camp. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm ready for the schedule release, man. And at the end of the day, it was good. It was good to see us kind of maneuver the way that we did in the draft. It was good to see us kind of make a pick and then kind of counter it to kind of complement that pick. The Jeanty and then getting Caleb Rogers. Addressing the offensive line, you get Jack Bech, and then you counter that with the Deontay Thornton pick to get a little more speed to open things up. And so I felt like they kind of methodically moved their way through the draft, which I don't think we've seen in a long time. So
no, and it was like when you think about it, we got 5 guys in the top 100.
Yeah,
right. And we did it without having to give up the first round pick. I think to me that's what made it even better for me. Because remember, I was anti-trading it back depending on what we got in return. What we got for our second round pick, I loved it. Absolutely fucking loved it. Yeah.
Remember last week, Leo, you asked us on the Wednesday night show before the draft. You said,
"Well, how can they disappoint you?"
Yeah. Well, no, not so much. No, not to disappoint you, but how can they better than last year's draft? And we pretty much all agreed that they got to hit on at least the 3 picks again, just like they did last year.
Yeah.
We turned those draft picks into 3 starters last year. I think we may have there's a good chance that we could have surpassed 3 this year.
Yeah, I mean,
we can come close to having possibly 4 starters out of this draft, to be honest with you. I don't know if you guys agree or not, but
Yeah, I think if we come out of here with four starters, 3's like my minimum, right? But 4 or 5, I think amazing at that point.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Depending on Caleb Rogers works out, we could potentially have the first 4 out of our first 5 picks become starters.
Yeah.
Jeanty, Zach Bech, Darian Porter, Caleb Rogers, Deontay Thornton.
Deontay Thornton. Yeah.
You could see potentially like 4.
And you could be adding touchdown Tommy as our special teams guy.
4.
Yeah.
Well, I think the dark horse and all that is what's his name, the linebacker too at number 7. He could come out of nowhere for all we know.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, crazier things have happened.
No, what's interesting though is our first 5 out of our first 6 picks were all offense.
Yeah.
So we prioritized the offensive side with potentially one of the better offensive play callers in the league. You know, Chip Kelly can run an offense in the league. He's proved that. And so, you know, you give him the weapons that he potentially needs. He already has quarterback. He's got Geno Smith. Yeah. There's a good chance. There's a good chance that we can kind of turn this offense around a little bit fairly quickly if these pieces work out.
Is familiar working with too at that. Has gotten the best out of him. If anybody got the best out of Geno, it was Pete.
Yeah. Rosetown's comment.
What did he say?
At the very bottom.
This stretch you did.
The old Stretch Armstrong type thing. Yeah.
Man.
That's funny.
Yeah.
My guy, man.
That's it, fellas. I know, Jeff, I don't know if you want to share if you and Nate are going to go on tomorrow. Jay,
we'll be on tomorrow night. I got to talk to him. I don't know if we want to maybe have someone on or not. But, yeah. We'll be on 10 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow, 7 o'clock Pacific. Friday night, I don't know what's going on yet with Turf. Last Friday night was draft night, so everybody and their brother was on.
Bro, okay. You got to find out what Miss Peggy's doing, bro. I'm curious how she feels about this draft.
Yeah, well, you know what? You know what? Never mind. I'm gonna reach out to her after we get off. I'll read tomorrow. She's already in bed by now.
Okay.
I'll hit her up tomorrow.
Okay.
What about you? Do you want to see about bringing her on next Wednesday?
No, I'm fine with that. Yeah.
I'll have to check her schedule, but yeah, okay. I'll talk to her.
Yeah. Shout out Raider Way. What's going on? What about you, Jay? What you got?
Yeah, I got the Saturday show, Good Morning Raiders. Make sure you guys tap into that, 10 a.m. Pacific. Oh, my guy, the Raider right now. We got a big guest confirmed today. It's going down, y'all.
Now, if it's big and it's a big dude, no fat on fat shaming, big dog. Okay,
not that big. I love my brother Ooses, bro. I show him love.
Okay.
But ain't that kind of big. That kind of big. Hey, we're gonna have Mitch Renz on the show Saturday. We're doing
really?
I got my guy.
Good deal, man.
So make sure you guys tap in. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Tap into notifications. Big show. Told y'all, keep bringing the big shows. I ain't done. Week after that, I got another name.
I know Jeff's excited for that one.
Oh, Jeff is ecstatic.
I'll behave because it's Jay's show. I won't be a dick.
Jeff just hit the notifications because of it. That's what he did.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll be because it's Jay's show. I'm not going to go in and bust his balls.
Yeah,
I'll be nice.
Yes.
Hey, once again, 805. Thank you for coming to our show today.
Yeah, thank you.
I always see you in the chat. We were thinking, who to invite today. I was like, let me ask him. And then thank you for coming through last minute, big dog.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you guys having me. I as much as I can jump on and just kind of chop it up with you guys, because I jump in the chat as much as I can with you guys and show the support. But at the end of the day, man, I honestly love just chopping it up about football, getting everybody else's perspectives, and just kind of hearing what you guys got to say, because at the end of the day, man, it's all opinions. That's all it is. I'd like to feel like I come from a place that just with my background, I have a little bit of knowledge of the game, but at the same time, man, I still got so much to learn. So, hearing from you guys and listening from you guys, man, I appreciate you guys inviting me on, man. It was a good time.
Well, you have a wealth of knowledge that I think a lot of people like tapping into, and I think that helps too. And like I said, I've learned just from watching shows that you do this past season that I didn't pay attention to prior to, like things I'm picking up on.
Hearing him on these shows is one thing. Wait till you get to hang out with him in person and talk football.
Well, I can't wait. I can't wait to like meet up with a lot of you guys.
Yeah, I loved it. I enjoyed it.
Bro. You guys come out here for the Patriots. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I listened to the wife last night kiddingly. I said, "Hey, do you want to move to Vegas?" She goes, "Why do you want to go to fucking Vegas?" I said, "Because I can, and I'd like to. Why wouldn't I?"
Yeah. Make sure you guys give my guy 805 some love. I mean, bro, not only are you just filled with stats, bro, but you put in like the amount of work you do to give us all the insights and everything that you do, man. I mean, you watch hours and hours upon film. I can't do it, man. It's hard. I do it, but it's not. I can't do it like whole hours, man. It's just a lot. But hey, man, you
and balance of the family life.
Although you do be wilding sometimes, though. Throwing Mario Williams in there with Harrison and
No, don't. Hey, I got some people on my side. Okay, I got some people on my side. Don't you hate on that, Leo? No, you know what's funny though is I'm with you. Like I do watch a crap ton of film. It's just I've been doing it for so I know you guys have heard me mention it, but played for a long time, but coached it for 23 years. And so one of my things was watching game film. My wife, when she first met me, she'd walk in. She goes, I walked in here 3 hours ago. You're watching the same game film. I'm like, yeah. Because I might miss something. I rewatch game film over and over and over again. And it's just in my habit. And so, being able to kind of get away from the coaching and give the family more time, this is kind of my outlet. And so being able to watch film more on the Raiders. And this is what I did before doing this whole YouTube stuff, the social media stuff. And so, now what's really cool is now it's on record. Now people can call my ass out if I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things is, I trust my eyes and I trust kind of my thought process, but at the same time, being able to jump on and get your guys' perspective and learn from it. That's what I love. But because at the end of the day, if you ain't learning, you ain't getting better. And so, being able to kind of jump on here and kind of talk my piece, but then also get the feedback is definitely what I love doing. So, and Rose Town, I saw the comment. Yeah, man, if we ever link up, bro, we'll definitely have a couple drinks without
be
question.
ready, bro. Be ready.
I'll be out of Bakersfield, but I'm gonna get you a beer, bro. Buy a beer. I'll buy you a drink.
So let's make it happen. 100%.
There you go. Hey, and anybody going to Bakersfield, let us know. I want to know. Come by, say hi. Shoot the shit. At the end of the day, we're all fans, and we appreciate everybody who supported us along this way and keep supporting us and through our takes, our hot takes, our bullshit, and everything else. So but if you are going, for sure, let us know or let me know at least. I'd love to go ahead and say hi to everybody.
Yeah,
I know Sacktown's going and stuff. So
I'll be there in spirit. I know.
There you go.
Don't cry.
I'm a video call you, bro, on Instagram. But look, there's Jeff. You get to meet Jeff.
And look for the big banners too, because we'll have a banner. The Raider War Room. I think Leo. We're going to be right next to each other, so Leo's going to have his booth too. And so, man, Jay, if you show up, I'm not sure if you're going to try to get a booth, but if not, man, you can come chill with us.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to get a booth. We're barely going to make it out there, bro.
No,
but yeah, I'll definitely. I'm gonna look. I already told Dub. I was talking to Dub earlier. I'm gonna look for everybody and I'm gonna post up. And
I already hit up Dub, and Dub's gonna come and chill with me and Severe, and we're gonna be right next to Leo. And I think the Raider Nation Live guys might be right next to us as well. So
I believe we're gonna be actually doing a live podcast from there.
Yeah. So it's gonna be legit.
I would love to do one. I don't know if it's possible with the whole internet and thing. I don't think it'll work out, but
it's gonna be tough. I think it's gonna be tough.
Yeah,
to be honest. Unless you just straight rocking from your, unless you're like straight rocking from your phone or something like that.
Yeah.
You know
even that was little. Remember when I did it from my phone? It's just different.
Yeah. So I feel you, but hey, I don't know, Leo. I don't know if you checked it out, but we might tap into all these guys. Tap into my channel. We'll give you guys updates, but we might be staying at the Clarion Hotel, possibly.
Okay, let me know.
That's just next to the event, just west of the event. They got a bar.
You said that was right next to the one I told you.
One. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me know. Let me know. We might have to get a room out there to drive back all the way to LA after like a long night stay.
I'm going
to be able to
it's
do
gonna
it.
be a long day, bro. I'm gonna set up. I'm gonna be working, and then my nephew wants to have fun. Yeah,
it's actually a pretty inexpensive hotel based on everything around it. It's like I think right now today it's like $110 a night. So we're only going to stay Saturday night, and attached to the hotel is a restaurant that stays open until midnight, and then the bar stays open until 2. And so the plan is after the event, man, just spread the word at the event. If anybody's chilling overnight, go to the Clarion Hotel. They have pool tables. I think they do some stuff at that bar that night. And bro, we'll just.
You said they got karaoke, right?
Yeah. And you ain't gonna see me up there, but if I have a couple shots, you never know. Yeah. You never know.
I just got a message from MC Raider. He wants to know if it's Leo cheap type hotel or if it's a legit hotel.
Bro, it's Bakersfield.
That's true. That's important.
It's Bakersfield.
I don't know.
And my girl and my nephew.
I don't know Bakersfield that much, bro. I really don't. So I want to know.
Yeah. It's like me telling you the difference between Providence and Woonsocket here in Rhode Island. You wouldn't have a clue. But real quick, Raider Pete, I know you asked a question. Yes, I did forget to say that. Saturday night, Chris and I got to reach out to Papa Rundown. We're going to be covering Raider history on the secondary now because last time it was defensive ends and linebackers. So this time around, it's going to be the history of the secondary position players.
You going to talk about Terry McDaniel, Lionel Washington?
I might have we might have a special guest that pops in every now and then. I don't know if anybody's familiar with him, but T3 Tom, he's from DC. He does a lot of history on the Raiders. He's actually in the process of writing a book right now that he's trying to get published.
For sure.
Yeah, he's got a wealth of knowledge. So I'm going to try and get him on at some point too. So
that's good shit because I always try to tap into that because again, like I know some of the history, but not all of it, man. And you guys lived it, so
I know from LA. Oakland history I learned when I used to go to Oakland. That's when I learned the Oakland history and all that stuff. But I lived history forward. Yeah,
I know what I know, and I still do a lot of research because there's a shit ton of stuff out there that I don't have a fucking clue about. Some of these older players.
Yeah, but some of the
backstories and like some of the shit that these guys did and everything, and so it's fun. I like doing that show.
Yeah,
it's a pleasant change.
Yep. Well, all right, y'all. Peace out. Appreciate y'all for coming through, tuning in. As always, much love. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate the nation.
Appreciate everyone pulling up.
I got to change this.
Being on with us today, Paul. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys having me on, man. It's always fun. I appreciate you guys.
Show. There we go. I didn't mean to kick you out.
He's kicking Jay out before the show's even
Dang, I already changed it.
All right.
Yeah, no shit, right? Look at that.
I changed the background.
Oh, because that's where the video is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Peace out, y'all.
Just win, baby.
Look, check it out. All black with a hoodie, snapback with a snap on. Long white socks, me mugging like I'm King Kong. With them all black Chuck Taylors. West side and this bitch yelling Raiders. Thuggin', cause we know with it. Motherfuckers like y'all suck, but we don't give a fuck, nigga. We deal with it. Y'all jacking, getting nigga fucked up with the quickness. Parking lot squabbles, giving nigga the business. Shh, quiet. The fuck you mean? We yelling Raiders, bitch. Like fuck your team, you wanna talk your shit. Get sad like Scream Stadium, take off, nigga. Homicide scene. Oakland to LA, LA to Oakland, Las Vegas, Sin City, steady smoking. Raiders looking to get another ring like fuck y'all haters, nigga. Yeah, know what I mean? We yelling Raiders, bitch. Y'all know what's up, like Raiders, bitch. Quick hit two niggas up like Raiders, bitch. I show no love like Raiders, bitch. Nigga, we don't give a fuck. Raiders, bitch. Y'all know what's up, like Raiders, bitch. Quick hit two niggas up like Raiders, bitch. I show no love like Raiders, bitch. Nigga, we don't give a fuck.
So much drama in the big LV. It's kinda hard being Yaya or end up C. But I, somehow, some ways, keep dropping these Raider hits like every single day. May I sip on this Henny while these haters pay attention and my name stay mentioned. I'ma stay G'd up like a silver feed up and tucked as a burner just in case it heats up. But I'm humble, 10 toes down to never stumble. Keep doing Raider music, imitating, never double. It's like everywhere we go, it's like the same old shit. Here Raiders just suck, y'all can suck my dick. It's a nation just to prove, no need to consume, win, lose, or tie. Raider Nation keep moving, top to the bottom, bottom to the top. It's Raider Nation all day till the casket drop.
We yelling Raiders, bitch. Y'all know what's up, like Raiders, bitch. Quit it, you niggas up like Raiders, bitch. I show no love like Raiders, bitch. Nigga, we don't give a fuck. Raiders, bitch. Y'all know what's up, like Raiders, bitch. Quit it, you niggas up like Raiders, bitch. I show no love like Raiders, bitch. Nigga, we don't give a fuck. Welcome in this bitch like nigga, what's happening? With whiskey in my cup, turned up, Raider Nation hella active. Watch what you say, watch the yapping, nigga, don't get your ass kicked. We bout the action, I'm a goofy nigga, but I ain't no goofy nigga. Fuck around and find out he doing a two-piece nigga. Everybody knows me soon as I hit the scene. They like, Raiders, bitch, nigga, fuck your team. Champions Club, I am the one. VIP access, we do what can't be done. I do what I do, nigga, that's on the daily. Talking hella shit, give a fuck if they hate me. Only one nation, Raider Nation, and it's evident. Any other nation is irrelevant. Commitment to excellence, just win bang, these what we telling them. Shout out to the nation, you know I had to represent. Yelling Raiders, bitch, y'all know what's up, like Raiders, bitch. With it, two niggas up like Raiders, bitch. I show no love like Raiders, bitch. Nigga, we don't give a fuck. Raiders, bitch, y'all know what's up, like Raiders, bitch. With it, two niggas up like Raiders, bitch. I show no love like Raiders, bitch. Nigga, we don't give a fuck.